create an advantage to try to shake him even further.
Sure. What are you creating an advantage on?
So
You're like
using
what are
my
you're making a new aspect. What would you like that aspect to be?
visibly shaken.
Okay. Okay.
You got
And
the receipts.
yeah, which of your skills are you using for that? Your journalist?
Relentless
Yeah,
journalist. Yeah.
awesome. Go ahead and give me that roll. Ooh, superb. Okay. So he is going to try and resist that. Um, at this point, he's gone full corporate mouthpiece. Like he's trying to lock the message down. And okay, so that will if you want to accept that and tie, um, you would. I forget how tying on creating an advantage, because tying is so rare.
Boost.
It's just a
Great
boost.
advantage.
Yeah.
It's a boost.
Yeah, it's just a boost. You could take a boost, which you could use on your next action, or you could hand off to somebody else for their next action.
Could I actually invoke my motivation with my family's hands are dirty, so maybe he recognizes the name and understands what that means?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
That would pump. You would have to spend a fate point, and that
Yep.
would give you the. I'm going to copy card and change it. You said visibly shaken. That's what you wanted that to
Yeah.
be?
Yep.
Okay.
Best way to handle people like this is to get them to be unnerved.
So there's one free invoke on there. So you can either hand it off to Emilio, or you can give it to Randy, and Emilio will bring up the end of the.
I suggest you give it to Emilio. That way,
Yeah,
he doesn't go last and take a double turn.
that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Okay.
So, Emilio, please.
Emilio is going to. He is going to attempt to sort of get the press back on his side and create an advantage just by doing a he straightens his tie, could like his smile comes back up. It doesn't look quite as authentic as it did when he first walked out, but you can see he's trying to put the mask back on. He's going to try and create an advantage to get the press corps on his side, because you're the only person here who's actually from this town. Everybody else came from out of town for this. So he's going to try and create an advantage, which he is going to do. And he'll actually get two free invokes on that with a 7. Of press on his side. And then we'll hand it to Randy. Randy, how are you getting involved in this?
All right, listen. Rob has his gas station coffee in his hand and is conflicted because the business that Apellion Corporation has brought is letting me feed my 3 children, Ricky, Ramona, and Rich, and it's a conflict. Like they're looking into it, but I'm concerned about like my kids. So I'm basically kind of like going through the crowd, just kind of like, like, well, what are they talking about? They keep talking about like scientific reports and checking on themselves. Like, just, is the water safe for my kids to drink? Like, can my children drink water? And the way I would like this to play out mechanically, Paul, if you agree, is I'm leaning into my motivation, which is business is booming for now. Like this is how
Sure.
this company is how I feed my kids. But I need to know that the drinking water is safe for my kids. So that motivation aspect is it's tied to the declare stunt. So once per scene, when you spend a fate point to declare a story detail related to an aspect with this connected stunt, I can create a situation aspect representing that detail with 2 free invokes. My thought is to create the aspect like, is the water safe for kids to drink, with 2 free invokes on it.
Absolutely.
Because I think that would like get the crowd kind of like thinking in those terms, and make those free invokes available for all of our frontline journalist friends, and YouTubers.
Okay.
That's my thought. Is
You
that
just
how you'd like it to
so
play
that
out,
doesn't even require your action, because you're just spending a fate point for a declare. So you can
yeah,
do
that's
that
fair.
and still take an action.
You know what? I'm going to, let's see. I spent my fate point. Then I would like to try to create an aspect, on like the impact of, or like so I'm doing that, and what I want to do is I want to just basically. Okay, sorry, my brain. I'm thinking in terms of, I don't want to duplicate what I just did, but I'm going to duplicate what I just did, which is like, this, like, talking about, is the water safe for my kid to drink, which you're going to need to update the aspect label on the board.
Yeah.
Um,
They're hard to deal with on the fly, but
yeah, Roll20, the fate character sheets are great. That's the only nice thing I have to say about it. I know. I'm such a saucy bench. I'm going to use my concerned parent to create invokes about like the impact of industry, because in addition to talking about like, is the water safe for my kids to drink, I'm going to be talking about how like Apellion, like they're going to be responsible because like it is important to this community. This community will hold them to these standards. Basically, I'm not like advocating for the company, but I'm pointing out that the company is responsible for the community, as the community is responsible for holding them like their feet to the fire. My intention is to mechanically add, to create advantage, to add a free invoker to the impact of industry, trying to
absolutely.
involve that aspect that we have, because Apellion is like, I mean, it's a force of nature in this town. So I presume that I'm rolling concerned parent, because
That seems like the most appropriate. Yeah.
excellent.
I'll say that your difficulty is going to be a 3 on this one.
Okay. Sounds good to me. Let's go ahead and do some dice rolling. All right, that's great. I am good dad. Difficulty of 3. You know what? I am going to take the failure, and I'm going to take the failure, and Paul, I'm going to leave it up to you. But remember, those free invokes could go on the impact of industry in the favor of a Apellion core.
That's right.
Sorry, once a GM, always a GM.
Yeah, to show that, I'm going to use an X. I'm going to use an X for Amelia's free invokes, and a check mark for all yours. Because the little icons here are set up like random dice. I can just choose a different face to be showing.
Just to be clear for my fellow players, I am not coming down on the side of the company. I'm just trying to like be a like complex character,
Yeah.
And trying to like stir up trouble, because apparently that's what I do.
Well, yeah, also like from my own experience doing government stuff, like you got a good job, you like don't want to believe. You're just like, man, can I just go back to where I didn't know this thing? I need to feed my kids.
Don't tell me about what Chick-fil-A spends their money. Don't tell me about that. Don't tell me about Hobby Lobby being like the villains from the Indiana Jones movies and stealing all of those artifacts. I don't need to know that. I don't need to know that.
Well, Randy, you ended the turn, so we'll start.
I was just about to say, I'm going to pass my baton to Grayson. So Dana, you are welcome to go next.
Okay, so Dana is going to continue to push the issue and be like, the water is not safe. Like I have the paper, and so like we know that the water is not safe. We need to get this information out. We are going to do everything that we can to get this information out. And just like they start screaming.
Yeah.
And mechanically, I'm not really sure
I mean, it sounds like an attack.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Still using relentless journalist, I imagine. This sounds relentless.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have
Sorry.
plenty of invokes to play with.
I'd actually like to use the "Is the water safe for my kids?" One of the invokes there.
Is that cool, Randy?
Yeah, please.
Cool.
Okay. So let me.
My invokes, your invokes.
Deleted.
And remind me, an invoke is a +2, right?
Yeah, and in fact, you could choose to spend it after you see what the roll is. To be perfectly honest.
Okay, let's do that.
So you could use one of those free invokes to re-roll that minus.
I'm gonna absolutely use
Okay,
use one of them to re-roll.
That is. There's an error. There's something wrong there, because you were using relentless journalist, which is a +4.
Oh yeah.
Okay, roll it again, because I think something
Okay.
got messed up in the die roller. There it is.
Okay,
that's better. Yeah. So if you want to use one of those free invokes, that would bump you up to a 5.
Yeah, let's do that. If that's okay with everyone.
Then he's going to try and defend. And he also ends up with a 5. I'm not gonna chase that. So you don't do any stress to him, but you do get a boost, which either you can save for your next action or hand to somebody else. But what you are going to hand to somebody else is the initiative. So who's going to go next?
I think that Rebecca should go next.
All right. So, Rebecca is just whipping her phone around with all these things going on. She's having to adjust like her mic because the yelling. So she's not only recording, she's currently live streaming, hence the battery pack. The comments are flowing in, just like, oh my God, how could this be happening? Like, and a lot of it is just like, again, another place that this is happening. Like, these corporations really need to be taken to task. Like, there's just a deluge of comments. And what she yells out, I guess either to the assistant or to Mr. Garcia, she's almost like gloating at this point. She's like, you should really see the comments and how many people are watching this video online. Really doesn't look good for you, buddy. And I'm using YouTube Science Communicator to attack him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attack him with my views. One average.
Okay. Well, you want to? There are still some free invokes floating around.
Yeah.
Grayson, you have a boost. If you wanted to hand that over, you could use that.
I would be, yeah. Let's hand that over because I think it's a good combo.
Okay, so that would bump you up to a 3. Do you want? And then Grayson, you also control the free invoke on Visibly Shaken, and Randy, you control the free invoke on Is the Water Safe for My Kids? So
all of those invokes are absolutely free to be used by anybody.
Yep.
Cool.
Do you want to use them? Because right now you're at a 3. And we've seen how he's been rolling so far.
God, yeah. I almost feel like I should re-roll. I don't know.
Here's the thing. When it comes to re-rolls, statistically, -3 or -4 on the dice.
Which is what we have here.
No, she has 2 negatives on the dice.
There's 3
negatives.
It's negative, -0, negative.
Am I looking at the wrong thing? Dana Pink. Oh, I am looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, you are looking at the wrong thing.
You know what? I'm a jerk. Go ahead and re-roll.
I was going to say that it was mechanically advantageous.
And your and is that you have the invoke stunt on YouTube Science Communicator if you wanted to invoke that to get a reroll and a +2.
I do. So yeah, I guess let's hope that it's better. It is better, so that's a 5.
That's 5. And then, yeah, so we'll say that the boost was what you used to reroll. And then if you wanted to use the other free invokes to get that even higher than a 5, you're totally free to.
Sure. I think it makes sense. So what would it be if I did both of them?
It would be 7, 9.
9. Oh,
Do
wow. Yeah, let's just do it.
Nova attack.
Supernova. You two
Ratio M.
commentators.
Yeah, he's going to. He has some like as Rebecca and Dana are kind of haranguing him from the crowd. The rest of the press corps like is looking at you like, how unprofessional are you people being, right now, But so he does have some help on his side. Wow, he's rolling really
I'm glad
well.
I took them both now.
He's going to use one of the free invokes on the press on his side just to get up to a tie. So you'll have a boost on him that you can hand out. But who would you like to go next? You can give it to Mallory or Randy or to Emilio.
I kind of want to see Emilio's reaction. Just get that over with. Let's see.
Yeah, the problem is it's not really worth Emilio like attacking any one of you because like
okay.
He's kind of here on his job. Like his job is to field these questions and take it as like he's here to tank basically.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna say that after that outburst, she kind of goes, yeah, there's people here that are really concerned for their kids, and kind of zooms in on Rob Collins and who had just spoken. So Randy, you go.
You're up, Randy.
Yeah. So I just kind of like stare at the little like YouTube video. I'm just so you're recording me right now? Is that how you set up? All right, great. Hi y'all. My name's Rob Collins, and I am supposed to be on a job right now, but I stopped to find out what's going on with the Pillion to figure out what's make sure everything's okay. There have been lots of stories about fracking, and a lot of my friends have jobs and are able to afford nice houses because of fracking. But apparently, this has turned into a big old fracking mess. Is that funny? Is that what y'all want? Anyway, good coffee. What I'd like to, I guess, the question that I'd like to know is I'd like to ensure that there's some water for my kids, and I kind of am a bit lost. I'm wondering if we could get Mr. Garcia's a little bit more clear-spoken announcement on what the problem is. So basically, I'm going to be kind of like my intention is to like push back and kind of like ask like in the folksy sort of way that I just did, like what's actually happening, because he hasn't said anything in plain language.
Yeah.
In a way that like people can understand. So I'm using this as an attack with concerned parent. Does that jive with you, Paul?
Yes, that totally sounds like what you're doing.
All right, let's attack him with a concerned parent. I swing it, and let's find out what I get. Ooh, I got a good roll. Considering I've got a +4, that is not a good roll. But anyway, what's Emilio defend with?
Okay. Yeah, like he's in full corporate mouthpiece mode. And he defends with a 4. Now, Amelia, you have that boost. If you wanted to help Randy out here, you could give him +2 on it.
Would you like it, Randy?
I would love that boost.
Yeah.
And so that boost takes me up to a 5 against his 4, and I'm gonna pile on just a little bit more and spend a fate point, and I'm going to use Overwhelmed Contractor. So I'm I'm just going to kind of like add on like, Mr. Garcia, the language that you use and everything is just, it's hard for a very busy working man and woman to understand what's going on. I need to know if the water is safe for my kids or not. Please use plain language. Do I need to go to Walmart and buy some bottled water?
So you're
I'm
going up to a 7 on that.
Yeah, I'm going to spend a fate point on overwhelmed contractor because like I have to get back to work.
Yeah. So at that point, Emilio, like, he opens his mouth to like try and respond to you, and then like those of you who are close up to the podium, right in the front of the pack of the press, you hear a ringing from his suit jacket pocket, like inside pocket, and like he was opening his mouth to respond to Rob, and then he closes it and like looks down at his pocket, like with this look on his face of like, I forgot to turn the ringer off, and like pulls his cell phone out and looks at it and like frowns and puts it down on the podium, and he looks like he's very, very worn out by this whole thing, and like he's looking for any exit he can get out of this conversation. Randy, who are you giving it to?
He can always concede. So I will.
He can concede. He can concede the next time someone attacks him. But I already rolled his defense, so.
Well, I mean, like, he can choose to concede after the resolution of this.
Yeah, but I want to see what Mallory wants to do. If you want to.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Mallory's the only one left in this round, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Yeah, they're the only one. Yeah.
Let's see. Tomas, go to town.
Tomas is gonna start chanting, "Clean our water! Clean our water!" and gonna get the rest of the protesters there to chant with them. Clean our water! Clean our water! And I'm gonna attack it with unexpected activists.
You don't bother rolling. Describe to me how he makes his hasty retreat from this scene, because he is going to concede, and like he's heading back into the building with the tech guy and just like abandoning the press conference. But describe it for me.
There's like of the cell phone on the podium. Nobody else can see it, obviously, but it says, "Get out of there or you're fired."
Yep.
And
that's exactly right, because he just
kind of goes took and leaves.
He actually took a moderate consequence on that last attack of heat from the brass.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I just wanted to let you have the opportunity to describe his exit.
Yeah, he just sighs and says, I'm sure to the screaming protesters and the chattering reporters, that'll be the end of our conference for today. If you have any questions, please direct them to blah, blah, blah. Have a good day. Then leaves.
Absolutely. And while the rest of the press corps is like starting to like pack up their gear, Rob and Tomas are over by the sort of protest crowd. A man, a middle-aged, tall middle-aged man with a close-cropped beard and a kind of like a windbreaker kind of jacket with his hands kind of stuffed in the pocket, is sort of very nervously sidling toward the protest group from the parking lot. And Dana and Rebecca, if you're looking at because Rebecca, you were still filming the protest group because you had your camera on Rob earlier. You two can see this like nervous looking guy coming toward the protesters from the other side of the parking lot. But this guy comes up and kind of, because Tomas, you're clearly the ringleader of the protest, and Rob, you were an outspoken non-activist at this thing that was still speaking up. This guy kind of eyes the two of you as sort of like the important people in this crowd of protesters, and he's like, "Did I hear right?" And he's looking at Tomas. Did I hear right that you used to work for him too?
Tomas nods, breaking off from the other activists, and says, "Yeah, I did."
Maybe we should talk. Maybe we should compare notes.
Yeah, sure, I wouldn't mind that. You want to go grab a coffee or something?
Yeah. He looks at Rob and he's like, I have kids too. You're right to be worried.
Yeah, I don't want to like. I mean, I'll buy bottled water if I have to, but it's an extra expense. And if you're looking for good coffee, the A plus down off the highway, it's really good coffee. Not that it's not that fancy Starbucks stuff, but it'll wake you up.
Maybe we he looks back at Tomas. He's like, maybe we could go to Claire's Diner over on Elm.
Yeah, sounds good to me. I can get some pancakes or maybe a slice of pie or something to go with that coffee.
Dana and Rebecca, were you? Because the rest of the press just packed up their stuff, got back in their vans, and drove away.
Oh, I'm gonna wave. I want to wave Rebecca over.
Oh yeah, she'll come over. She's still like live streaming, but she's like wrapping it up, and she's like, "All right, everybody, like, I'll be on later from the hotel room.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. Yeah, this whole situation is just absolutely wild. I really hope that things get resolved soon. Anyway, signing off. Good night." And
Yeah, as you were walking in that direction, the guy in the windbreaker like very clearly is turning away from your camera.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of looks over and she goes, "No, it's okay. I just ended it." Rebecca Stein from Chembusters. Good morning.
Hey, you want to do an interview later? We could use some more people. Get on the side of the activists.
Oh yeah, of course. If you're fine with appearing online, I'd love to interview. Yes, of course. And sir, it is a dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Like, middle-aged man with a
I was forgetting with the windbreaker.
Goatee.
Yeah.
Yeah, he says Pat Franklin.
Pat Franklin. Yeah, if you're not comfortable appearing in a video, or if you'd just like me to write down a statement or nothing, that's fine too. Just let me know. Whatever you're comfortable with.
There's just a lot of weird bad stuff going on around this town. I just want to see if there's anything that can be done to stop it.
Well, yeah, I think. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, she just said yeah. That's for sure.
I was going to say I reckon the first bad decision you made is your selection of diners. I believe that Ritter's is the superior place. It is amazing for food at all hours. And next, if you don't mind, you said your name was Rebecca, right, ma'am?
Yeah.
Yeah. The video that you recorded, is there any way you can do the blurring out my face and distorting my voice?
Oh no, sir. You're live streamed, but I mean for the VOD I can do that. I can it's when people watch it later, I can make note of that. And she taps it into her phone. She goes, well, I'll edit that part out for the video. Like
I would appreciate that, ma'am.
As you're asking her that, and she's explaining, 2 news vans with satellite dishes on top of them roll out of the parking lot right past you. Because there were television reporters.
And she will kind of point out and say, like, I mean, there were other people here though, sir. I'm sorry, but it won't be me if your name gets released.
Wait a minute. Wait, are you telling me that I'm going to be on the local news?
You might be.
I'm probably.
Sorry. Speaking of, and she kind of like looks over at Dana, and kind of waves and motions her over and them over and goes, hey, listen, I was just kind of making that up with the hidden chemical report. Like, I was honestly totally lying there. But the fact that you do have one?
I mean, yes. Like, I'm thoroughly invested in this particular story. This town is my home now. And, like, I work for the local paper. And this is a story that they don't seem to want to give proper attention to. And so, of course, I'm gonna run tests and make sure that I have all the data so that they have to run my stories.
Yeah, no, I'm really impressed. I wanted to run a report myself, but with what I was able to do with my own tools, it turned out more or less the same as theirs. But I had some questions, so something wasn't right, and some of the plants looked different around the area I took samples from. So I don't know, it was just a wild shot. But yeah, thank you. No, I'm glad that somebody did the due diligence.
Dana's just going to hand the paperwork over. Publish this. My paper won't do it, so publish it.
I will.
Yeah.
Well, if it's accurate, won't the paper should publish it?
Not if they're paid off by Apollyon,
Yeah.
which they are.
Pat
They're
Franklin
a huge sponsor during their something gala.
Well, I mean you got a regatta, right? They,
at that
funded that.
Pat Franklin just kind of harumphs and like gives like a little nod, but he seems to be nervously like looking like over your shoulders, and kind of like starting to like edge back out like away from the building. He's like, you said Ritter's is better. That's fine, but we should probably go.
Their pancakes suck, but yeah, we can go there.
If anybody needs a lift, I got a little bit of room in my truck.
Thought you said you had to go to work.
Well, I do, but you ain't never had a contractor not show up before?
Don't know. Couldn't really ever afford one.
It's that 6-hour window that they give you.
Well, it's quite all right. I'll make it up to them. I'm more, I've got to be concerned about little Ricky, Ramona, and Rich. I need to make sure that they've got all of their food. Which, by the way, I did consider Rebecca as the name for the youngest critter, but Ramona, my wife, chose that one from a book series.
It's a good name.
Okay, so let's cut to Ritter's Diner.
Smash cut.
And
we're not going to argue over directions on how to get there.
Nah.
You got to turn left where the Kroger used to be.
Rebecca can like barely drive, so she's just at the mercy of the local.
If you get to the country fair, you've gone too far. So yeah, circle wipe to Ritter's Diner. You're all seated around a big table. There's a platter of pancakes and corned beef hash, and it's the four of you and Pat Franklin. He's finally got his hands out of his jacket pockets. He's just sort of like kind of like folding them on the table in front of him. He is clearly very nervous. And he says, I was the one who did the initial surveys for Apollyon on the water levels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, their data is more accurate than what I think you might have there.
Okay.
They know what's going on.
Of course they do.
Well, of course they do. The oil industry did a survey in the 50s to find out the impact of oil, and they've just been lying about it ever since. Why not everybody else, right?
Yeah, same thing with cigarettes, same thing with this. Why not,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason why cigarettes are called coffin nails.
I've never heard that.
I meant more specifically, like, they know which truck did it.
Oh, wait. How would they know that?
That's what I'm saying. They
just keep really meticulous logs, I'm guessing.
Wait, are we saying that they did it on purpose?
Um, I don't think they did it on purpose, but
I don't think anybody at Ritter's cares that we're talking about a Pillion.
Okay.
You sweet child. So anyway, now that the entire place knows.
Randy, you
Yes.
saying that sounds like you're fishing for a compel.
I'm always fishing for a compel.
Always.
Yeah. It sounds like business is booming for now. Might be the compel here. As you the local small business owner is shouting about the major corporation and nobody caring in the diner. Somebody in this diner might actually care.
Well, I'm saying no one cares that we're talking about a Pillion, but apparently somebody is getting pissed off at our conversation. So of course I will accept a fate point for whatever terrible thing is about to happen.
Oh, I don't think it's going to happen on camera right now.
Oh, okay.
So
all right.
I'll just put that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just put that one in my back pocket for a little bit.
Yeah. All right. You bank that.
Yeah.
See, no one cares.
It's a real shame that we're not like, running in a park and I can't like compel my old injuries still acting up. We're having this conversation.
We can get there. The stream that these water levels these chemicals are running through runs right alongside the city park. Like it's in the book. So
dang.
If you end up going there and doing a firsthand investigation, we could clearly have some
there you go.
Some misadventures in nature.
All right. So Pat or Mr. Franklin, you said that they know which truck it was, and they know what's going on. Why don't they just take care of it?
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Rebecca's picking at her chipped beef, and just looks over and is like, "It's cheaper to just get sued. Like
they didn't do anything in Kentucky. Where are they going to do anything here?"
Yeah.
They aren't the source of it. Like somebody else put it in the ground like 50 years ago. So once they can track down who's legally liable for it, then they can just pass the blame off to them. But apparently there's a big snarl in the records, and they're not sure who actually put it there. So they're keeping it quiet until they can figure all that out.
Yeah.
But they know when it happened, how it happened. So do you know that?
I don't have those details. I did the chemical analysis. But
so when did you do the chemical analysis though? Because we could backtrack from there, right?
I mean, we could just go do another one right now.
I ran it 2 weeks ago. Like right after they started everything up. I didn't know why they were asking me. They had just started. There shouldn't have been any sign of anything, but they brought me in last minute to run chemical tests on the water, and oh boy, did I find something. And yeah, I looked at it, I'm like, this is not from what you're doing. What is this stuff? And they're like, they dismissed me summarily, I believe was the term on the contract. I mean, legally, I can't even be talking to you about this right now.
Oh, of course.
So this is off the record then?
Yes, please.
Well,
I wouldn't know anything about off the record. I served in the military. Everything's on the straight up and up there. I'm kidding. All right. I know that you tube viewers like to find conspiracies everywhere. I'm just saying. I'm cracking a joke.
Okay. All right. Just so that you're aware, and we're just gonna lampshade that and move on. So obviously all of us know this, but what are we even supposed to do about it? All we can do is continue to tell people to look into it. I don't know, fundraise. Like, it's kind of depressing, going around to all these places and then nothing ever happens. I'm sick of it. I really want to see that something changes for the better here.
I don't rightly know. if somebody could get inside their office building and find, they have a paper trail, they have a trail of information on this thing, because they'll need it for whatever, lawsuit ends up coming down the road once they figure out who to pass the buck to. But if somebody could get it, then you could blow the whole thing wide open. But I do not have access. Let me put it that way.
Yeah. I would say this was a couple weeks ago. I probably could get into that building because I did work for them. But, well, that is past tense.
Now,
you all see that, like, he kind of just gives a shrug, and like is looking down at the table. He's playing with his hands, and you see that he's playing with like a little like a little medallion or something, like maybe like a saint's medallion or something. And Tomas, I'm gonna offer you a compel
Yes.
on your weirdness magnet there.
Yes.
I can tell Mallory's been playing with me for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want to offer you a compel.
use-
Yes.
I didn't used to like compels. I
Yeah.
want them now.
And
Same, yeah.
since your weirdness magnet has the compel stunt, if you wanted to, instead of taking the fate point, you could create a situation aspect with 2 free invokes. But there is definitely something about this medallion that's like drawing you in.
Mm-hmm.
Would you just like the fate point, or would you like to create a situation aspect about what might be going on here that's caught your attention?
Would I know what's going on here, or
Your character doesn't have to,
Okay.
but you as a player can certainly
Okay.
tell me what's happening to your character right now.
Could it be like something like Fey intervention?
Sure.
That's very nebulous, but I think that probably works.
Yeah.
It's something with like free invokes on it.
What kind of intervention is it?
Oh.
Okay.
I mean, it's
like-
potentially helpful to you because you're getting free invokes on it.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, you can use it too against us, but not for free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd rather have the thing with the free invokes. I mean, I need fate points back, but I could try to
And
get
like
this later.
this is a situation aspect. It can stick around as long as it's true.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I'm gonna remove this stuff that I had earlier.
Shoot, I think I'm down a fate point and I never marked it. I have done so.
Okay. So yeah, you're watching him sort of fiddle with this medallion, and it's the darndest thing. You hear like bells, like on a cat's collar, sort of that little like tinkly silver kind of bell sound at every time he like fiddles with this medallion. And it's just weird, and like it's like got your full attention to the point where like the rest of you see Tomas kind of like zone out of the conversation.
Well, if we wanted to discuss how we're going to try to get in there, can either you two, looking at, hold on, Dana or Rebecca, get like some press credentials, maybe for an interview or something? Maybe we're your camera crew or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, not camera crew because I work for a newspaper, but I can try to get us all press credentials. I mean, I'd be faking them, but other than for myself, but
Yeah, maybe your newspaper's branching out into video.
into video.
Yeah, maybe
maybe.
like that TikTok stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I'll let them know that I'm going to try a new platform. TikTok sounds like a great opportunity for us as a paper to connect with the younger audience. So yeah, I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that that one website I like to go to. It's real funny. It's like, how do you do, fellow kids? Real funny.
So just then, Pat, like, kind of like, has a look on his face, like, oh, and like pulls his sleeve up, and you see he's got like a smartwatch on, and he reads it, and he says, I have to go. I have to go, and he just pushes away from the table and just rushes out of the diner.
Okay.
And Tomas,
the-
you see that he left the little medallion on the table.
I'll take it.
I'm going to take the chicken fried steak that he didn't eat, and I'm going to scrape it onto my plate.
Of course.
Tomas, when you touch the medallion, you very clearly hear the sound of a bell, like inside your head,
Mm-hmm.
and it feels not painfully so, but it feels cold to the touch.
Mm-hmm. I'll just put it in my pocket so I don't have to touch it anymore.
Did any of us like even get that guy's phone number or anything? Like, are we even gonna be able to find him again?
Nah, I'm sure we're gonna see him again. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, his name's Pat Franklin. That doesn't seem like that. That does seem like a fairly common name.
That's a really common name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think
Rebecca
he's a
Googles
Patrick
it,
or
and
a
it's like
Patrice?
33,000 results.
Well, so I know that y'all talking about like trying to get in with like credentials and stuff like that, but another way could be through like some construction, in the office building. Perhaps there's sorry, out of character. Perhaps there's some construction going on at the building, and we could spend a fate point to declare that there's construction going on in the building, and use that as part of our like opportunity to like get in to what's going on. Like we could do a two-pronged approach, like journalists, trying to inquire and distract while Rob and somebody else kind of like breaks into the room or breaks into the office to try and do it.
The hitman approach. Yes.
Yeah, I think.
I'm suggesting this because like the way
Like
that
it.
your three characters are set up, it's so obvious that you guys are like the three amigos, and then here I am, I'm the I don't know, the horse. So I'm trying to make sure that like
Well,
I can
Tomas is
fit me
gonna
in.
speak up and say, actually, that's probably a better idea for my skill set, anyways. I do some locksmithing work for money now, since well, can't really work at the mines anymore. So.
Paul, I
mean,
spent my fate point to
honestly-
declare that story detail.
Gotcha.
Awesome.
I mean, honestly, they're not gonna want to see me as a reporter after that. So I might be better off just coming as a construction worker.
Yeah,
Rebecca
yeah,
points
but
out.
here's the thing. They're going to be looking for you to sneak in with like your hair tucked up underneath your hat, like the song. But I think if you come in through the front door trying to get their attention, then that's just going to draw them in. Sort of like how you leave out a salt lick to get the deer to come into the field, and then you remove the salt lick a couple of weeks before deer season, and the deer are used to coming there for food, and it's like shooting deer in a barrel.
I don't think that's how that works, but yeah, I think.
Well, I don't think
Rebecca,
you're a hunter,
you should...
so that's all right.
Rebecca,
I don't go disrespecting you and your tactics.
Rebecca, I think you should go with Dana and act as the video consultant.
No, you're right. Yeah, no.
If you want
right.
to, I think it might be a good idea to probably put on like a hat and some different glasses.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if there's one thing that corporate men are really good at, it's not recognizing when a woman has changed her style.
My wife tells me that all the time. She's like, "How do you like my haircut?" I'm like, "Did you get a haircut?"
Which one?
Which one?
Which one?
You got your
Oh my
hairs
gosh.
did. Congratulations.
And she nods and she's like, yeah. No, yep, good idea. I'll put my hair up in a ponytail and wear a hat, and I'm sure none of them will recognize me because you're very right. All right. Well, what do we need to do? Yeah.
So is Dana going in as legitimate press?
Mhm.
Yeah, we're gonna say that we're trying out new TikTok to reach a younger audience.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to make an overcome with your relentless journalist just to get that set up and see if there's any fallout from that.
You can do it, Dana. You can do it.
You got this. Ooh.
Okay, so yeah, I was going to say that it would be a 4 difficulty. Would you like to succeed with a cost?
Sure, I'll succeed at a cost. That sounds fun.
Absolutely. You've arranged a personal guided tour of their building with
no.
Emilio Garcia himself.
Yep, I was gonna say definitely Emilio
Great.
Garcia. Like this is a puff piece trying to recover from the horrible press conference.
Yep.
Mhm.
I think that's perfect.
It's great. Yeah, I've got my hair in a ponytail and like a black tasteful black baseball cap, and like my makeup is completely different. New glasses. I've dressed myself purposely to look like an intern.
Awesome.
Yes.
And then Randy, you've already declared that there's construction going on in the building, and obviously you got the job.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is like, Tim wasn't feeling so well because he drank too much at the bar last night. So I told him, I said, listen, just, we look reasonably alike. You can just give me your identification and I'll take care of the job for you tomorrow. And like, I mean, part of doing this means that I have to do the work because I don't want to leave Tim in a lurch. But like, he's a bit hungover today, so it kind of worked out well for everybody.
Yep. So we smash cut to Dana and Rebecca arriving at the front of the office building, walking into the lobby, and Emilio is there. Smile looks totally real once again, and says, "Oh, it's so good to see you again. I know it was a harrowing day yesterday, that press conference. I feel really bad that we got off to such a unsteady first step. I want you to know that we here at Apollyon, we pride ourselves on transparency and honesty, and I want you to know that I really appreciate you reaching out to us, and I'm looking forward to showing you around."
They put on their biggest, fakest smile possible. Of course, Mr. Garcia. We at the Still Hollow Ledger are here to make sure that all sides are available for the public to make their own opinions about what's going on. So we're here just to get your side of the story. We have one side, and it's just going to be so great to hear your side.
Absolutely. Shall we get started?
The pain in the voice.
Yeah. Shall we get started? And he gestures toward the bank of elevators behind the receptionist desk.
Of course. Now, are you familiar with TikTok? Because we're going to be doing this on TikTok. So there will be lots of short videos, lots of good cuts.
I am moderately familiar with TikTok. My niece is just about to have her quinceañera, and it's all she can talk about. They're going to be doing the ticks and talks at the party. I'm sorry.
Have they been practicing their dance moves? Because that's huge on TikTok right now.
My sister has been complaining for a month that the basement is filled with God knows what music, but I'm told reliably that yes, they are practicing.
Nice. That's going to be such a good memory to capture for the quinceañera.
Yeah, I wish I could fly out there. It's next weekend, but unfortunately, business is business.
Of course.
Anyway, follow me, and we cut to the third floor, which is currently completely gutted, They're doing a lot of electrical work. There's drywall going up on one end of the building, and Rob and Tomas is in with the construction crew, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you two are bringing in one of those big rolling tool chests up out of a service elevator that's in the back corner of the building, and the crew is up there, and they'd all just sort of nod and get back to what they were doing.
Man, there's a lot that they need to be doing here. They tore this place down. We gotta start measuring stuff and make sure that it's going the way that it needs to be. Let's see. Let's make sure this is the way it's going. Good. All right. What we got here?
Yeah.
All
and
right.
you make
Yeah.
your way immediately to like the little room that they drywalled up first to like put like paperwork and stuff in, and they're right on the like a sawhorse table. There's blueprints for the building just laid out right there for the crews to reference.
Oh, that's great.
You
I'm
know,
gonna go take
yeah.
a look at it and see where they keep their files.
Listen, Tomas, I gotta tell you, I don't think Tomas. I gotta say, I don't have a Tomas.
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
This is a character thing you're doing.
This isn't a bit. This is me literally like just.
Oh, it's not a bit. I thought it was.
No, it's me failing as a person.
It's Tomas.
Okay.
Tomas.
Yeah, with an
Tomas.
S, not a Z. You're like saying it with
Tomas.
Yes.
There you go.
Tomas.
There you go.
All right.
You got it.
All right. Tomas. All right. Tomas, like boss, like Haas. My Haas Tomas. Tomas the boss. Anyway. All right. Listen, all I know is that I am not surprised to find these blueprints out here in the open where there is not a single person responsible for them, because you know what? I was checking that drawer, the chest that we brought, and wouldn't you know it, I went into the drawer that was labeled hammers, and this is what I found inside of it. This is not a responsible work site.
That's not a hammer.
So, that's exactly my point, Tomas.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want to roll your mine engineer who's seen too much, that seems like you would know how to read a blueprint.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
My cat has decided to join me. You
Little
might
cat
see him.
cameo.
Yay,
Which
kitty.
one?
Coda.
Yeah.
Okay. Would you like to? So.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I'm
right now
I'm
you're
gonna
failing.
take
You could succeed with a
+2 from
cost.
Fey Intervention.
Awesome.
My eyes glow. I don't know, but there's something that's directing me to where I need to be able to see it.
I'm gonna tell you. You're looking over the blueprints, and do you ever see the old kids show on PBS, Ghost Rider? Back in the day,
I have not.
I might dimly remember it. Yeah.
there was a ghost that could only communicate by rearranging letters from printed things around it.
Oh
to
no,
talk to
I
the
was
kids.
born in 1992.
Ah,
That's when the show was on.
yeah.
So.
Well, it did run in reruns for a while, but not that long. So the print on this blueprint starts to like float up off the paper, and your eyes are drawn to a section on the second floor, which is one level below you, that has a lot of extra power and conduit lines running into it that would probably indicate some kind of server room or something. But for a moment, for a moment you're not even weirded out by the visual of it, and then you realize that's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tomas is just kind of gonna be like, yep. Just say to Rob, we need to go to the second floor right about here. I think that's where we need to go.
All right. Well, I reckon we should get started and get on our way up. I'll just bring my hammer.
You got any tool belts lying around? Maybe look, I'm supposed to.
Yeah, here's a couple of tool belts. Here's some legitimate tools in them too. I'm assuming that you know how to you know what some of the common tools are, right?
I worked in a mine. Yes.
All right, that's well, our YouTuber friend, Rebecca. I don't know that she would know that this was not a hammer. But then again, I have to be honest. I don't know what a talk tick is. So I guess
Rebecca has a master's in organic chemistry.
I guess it's
she ran a lab.
Shh. It didn't come up at Ritter's when
No,
we were talking.
That's what we call irony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all have our strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
let's go up to the
He's
second
got
floor.
the spirit.
Let's go up to the second floor.
So we cut back to our walking tour, and Emilio has taken you through some of the offices and up to the second floor, which is basically just wall-to-wall cubicles. The building is he's like, we moved in here last year. We wanted to get up and running pretty quick. We are hoping once the work is done on the third floor, we will be able to move these folks up there. And we really want to open this space up. We want people to be able to collaborate, communicate, move around, see who's doing what. These cubicles are only here temporarily, of course. He just starts taking you around. You see a number of people. Just seems a lot of accounting stuff going on around this area, and he takes you through sort of like there's like a sort of a hallway with actual like doored offices in sort of the center of the building, that goes from one big cubicle section through this hallway to another cubicle section, and he's leading you through there, and you see one of the doors is not actually an office as far as you can tell. It is a solid steel door with a electronic keypad lock on it. Like there's an electronic keypad on the wall and like a big like bulky doorknob assembly on the door itself. He doesn't make any comment of it, but the two of you are aware of it as you go past it. Like, that looks promising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very obviously a chip card reader, which is what they use for complete lockdown access, and it's one of those heavy steel doors that's like complete seal. Like, Rebecca's looking at like the seal around the door and like, yep.
Yeah, it definitely
like indicates with her eyes.
It definitely, like, just looking at the construction, you would recognize as a laboratory scientist, there is definitely a heavy duty fire suppression system behind that door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's to prevent stuff from getting out.
Yeah.
/ in.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's still in, like, haha, it's my first day mode. So she's just like directing Emilio to like, it's all like softball stuff that she asked for TikTok of like, oh, like what are the new offices gonna be like? Are you really excited? Like, oh, come over here by this plant and do this dance, like,
He is doing his best to oblige you.
Yeah.
He's actually a pretty good dancer.
Yeah, she's like begrudgingly impressed and does post that. Yeah,
but you see at the far end of the room, past all the cubicles, there is a like an alcove which you can see a set of elevator doors in, and as you're like getting him to do various things for the camera, one of you glances over and you see the elevator doors open, and Rob and Tomas come out with like tool belts and stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to basically start directing a little bit more. So why don't we actually get a really good shot of you over by this window over here, and I kind of like leading him kind of so that his back is towards the elevator.
Yeah. How about you give me an overcome or possibly a create an advantage, depending on how we want to get them to sneak by. I would say it's probably more of a create an advantage for them.
Yeah. Try to create an advantage basically by distracting him. So misdirection.
So what would you which of your skills do you think would be best for that?
It's a little hard. I'm thinking, I mean, it's still relentless journalism or journalist, I think, because it's about getting the picture and making sure that there's nice flattering light, which, you want nice soft light from a window because natural light is better.
I'm very open to whatever argument people make for which of their skills they want to use. Hey, okay. So yeah, and there's nobody opposing you, so that's actually gonna succeed with style. So you're gonna give 2 free invokes for them. So
yeah, it'll just be like misdirection.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother making a card for it because it's basically gonna be done once they make their attempts to sneak by. So yeah, Rob and Tomas, you need to get yourselves over to that door without anyone questioning or stopping you.
Oh, darn. Randy, I'm going to make this really hard on you because this tool belt, it's really heavy on my hips. It's causing a little bit of a misalignment. I got to walk a little bit funny, and it's really...
Are your old injuries acting up?
Yeah, it seems to really be causing my injuries to be acting up.
Oh, damn your luck.
I know. Darn.
Well, you can take a fate point, and...
Yeah.
Well, here's the nice thing about good old Rob Collins is that, while I'm happy to be home, I am a veteran, so I'm used to getting people out of trouble even when they're hurt. So basically, like, as we start walking, your hips start hurting and you kind of like start to like wobble and like, Emilio Garcia kind of starts to turn to look, gets distracted by Dana. And then I basically just kind of like grab you from underneath your like arms, or rather I throw you over my shoulder and firemen carry you like down the hallway, like military style, just to kind of like get out of there quick.
Yeah.
So fortunately, like, I mean, I think no one else is in the hallway, but Emilio Garcia may not see us. So I'm going to use veteran happy to be home to try and overcome this problem that you've created. That's cool.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm going to... So, do you want to set a difficulty, or do you want me to just...
Yeah, it's going to be a 4.
Oh, good.
Because you're carrying a full human being.
Yeah, Tomas is just going to be like, all right.
All right, let's see. Oh, I got a 4, which is a tie.
Dang.
So that is success at a minor cost, and
don't forget you've got the free invokes on the misdirection advantage.
Oh yeah, okay. Then I'll use that up since that's going to go away. So yes,
you did that. And those like the misdirection was like somebody probably would have like one of the office workers might have like noticed you, but like literally everyone is like nobody in this cubicle farm is working. Everybody's kind of like up, leaning over their cubicle walls, watching one of their bosses just get completely manhandled by the press. Awesome. So you carry Tomas very quickly off into that hallway, and now you're in front of the security door.
And I will let Tomas hand me their belt. That way, like, you don't have to suffer in pain. If you would have told me that, I would have gotten you a different tool belt.
Well, I didn't really think it was gonna flare up my arthritis. I don't know what makes sense.
Sciatica.
Sciatica. Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll go with that.
My lumbago.
My lumbago. God. My lumbago. I can't do his voice.
Yeah, it could be anything. You could have been caught in a partial collapse and have like nerve damage or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking like some pinched nerve kind of thing.
Yeah, that's all sciatica is a low back pinched nerve. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, now that we know about it, it's fine. I've got 2 tool belts now. I throw one of them over my shoulder.
So yeah, the issue that you see is that there is a physical tumbler lock on the door, but there is also an electronic keypad card reader thing, which those can be bypassed, but it's gonna be far more difficult than just picking a lock.
Yeah. Well, I could probably maybe try to get us through the physical lock. I'm not really sure about this keypad though. I kind of look over to Rob. Unless you know how to do social engineering to get one of these office workers to get us in here, I'm not really sure how successful we're going to be.
Well, I'm not pretty good at. I'm not too good at building things with people, so I don't think that's going to happen too much.
Well, I could try to do the physical one, see if maybe that'll bypass the keypad. It might just be something as simple as, the keypad just unlocks the door. So I'm gonna try to open it with my part-time locksmith. So
it's a difficulty 3, just for your reference.
Okay. I think this is another fantastic time to use the Fey intervention free invoke. I have magic fingies now.
So that brings you up to a 3. Would you like to succeed with a minor cost, or do you want to push yourself with a fate?
I'm gonna push myself. I'm gonna push myself with a fate point.
I mean, technically, you could pay to invoke Fey intervention again, or you could invoke one of your. You could invoke part-time locksmith or something.
Yeah. I'll
just depending on how you want to. Okay.
Okay. Yep, I'm good.
So while you're picking the physical lock, you hear that tinkling of bells again, and you actually look up and you see the buttons on the keypad, like different buttons are glowing like someone's pressing them while you're picking the physical lock. And as you finish picking the physical lock, you also hear the magnetic lock disengage.
Awesome. All right, well, I guess we're in.
And you
Open
go
the
in.
door.
You go in, and it is a server room, and it's being cooled, but it's not like cool in there. It's still pretty warm in the room. It's just you can hear the AC system cranking to
straining,
keeping it at this temperature. Cool. Yeah. But the two of you are able to slip inside, and you are now in the room.
All right, I pull out from my pocket the sheet of paper that oh goodness, what was it? Rebecca and Dana gave to us for what to look for in the server room. That so I wrote down.
Yeah, you just start there's a little terminal on one of the server racks, like a small monitor with a keyboard kind of sticking out of it on a tray.
Yeah.
And you don't know how somebody could get away with this, but there is a little yellow Post-it note under, you can see it just barely sticking out from under the keyboard. So you have to lift the keyboard up out of the tray.
Yeah.
But somebody left a username and password on a Post-it note under the keyboard.
God.
Oh, of course. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
They figured, if anyone gets in here, they're meant to be in here. With the 2 locks on the door, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's gonna get in here?
Mm-hmm.
We've got physical security. It's okay.
So you are able to log into this server terminal and start doing searches for these terms that they gave you to look for.
I would like to do something, and then in this scene, I want to do something, and then I'm going to pass it to Tomas. Tomas. Anyway, Tomas.
Yeah, you said it right.
Yeah, okay. I'm trying. I'm really trying.
No, you're good.
So what I want to do is I want to, like, that sheet of paper that I said, like, you know, what we're supposed to look for and what we're supposed to do. I want to kind of like do a little bit of a flashback, and be like just like us at Ritter's and me going like, okay, so when we're in the server room, what do we need to look up? What are the search terms? How do you spell that? Are there alternative spellings? Like going through and like getting as much information on this like sheet of paper as possible. Stuff that would be like super obvious, but when like we're in the moment, maybe whenever like our, you know, we're the adrenaline's pumping, we wouldn't remember it, but basically having taken like copious notes that we had collectively done. I'm assuming that this ties into my being a concerned parent and making sure that like I write down all of the things that like the parent teacher conferences tell me, all of like the YouTube videos that I watch on how to parent, and you know, the very detailed lists that my wife gives me of things to do. I basically want to create advantage like good notes to aid with what I presume is going to be Tomas searching the server, because I do not think that Rob is the right person to be on that keyboard.
I agree with that 100%. So yeah, go ahead and make a create an advantage action.
All right.
Difficulty 2.
All right. I got a 3.
Okay.
So
you
yes.
get one free invoke on
Yep.
that.
The aspect like good instruction, good notes, something
good
along
notes.
those lines.
Yeah. Okay. So Tomas, how would Tomas be looking through, like what's your best skill for this, do you think?
Oh God. To search?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, like this is
Let me see.
this is going to like break your, like this is going to be like the core of your activism. If you wanted to use unexpected activist, I would totally.
Yeah,
be
I
okay
mean,
with that.
if you're gonna give me that, then I'm gonna take it. So
I mean, it's just
yeah.
it's literally just like, because it can come down to like what's motivating you to do this action as much as
Okay.
this isn't a strictly like you have to be technically savvy to do this. It's literally just a search box in Windows Explorer or whatever. you know?
Yeah, I was going to argue for mine engineer. He's seen too much because engineer, detail-oriented, yada, yada, yada. But if it doesn't have to be purely mechanical, then I will happily roll unexpected activist. Ooh!
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you easily overcome the difficulty on that one.
Yeah.
And actually, you're like, Rob is sort of like reading you the notes that he took, and you're like, oh yeah, and start typing in a few search terms, and like you're like, oh yeah, those were really good notes, because here's the file, like complete with dates and like deposition of the backhoe driver and like exact GPS coordinates of the accident, and like it's the mother lode.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, with all this information in our hands, what could go wrong now?
Now you just got to get out.
I have some ideas for that.
Well, let's cut back outside to.
It might not be good for the two of us, but hopefully it should allow the two of you to get out. Is my idea.
Well, let's cut back out to the TikTok crew.
Yep.
The TikTokers.
We are TikToking. I imagine we've wandered over to like the kitchen or somewhere. You know, like we've been wandering around the past, however many minutes that they've been up to this TikToking.
Somebody brought in donuts, so that there's a few like kind of starting to go stale donuts in the break room.
Of course.
The coffee's pretty good though.
Coffee's pretty good. Yeah, so Rebecca kind of wants to say something about, like, I don't know if we can see them like leaving now at this point, or we think
not really
soon. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rebecca will get very close over to Dana and be like, okay, so they got in fine, but we have to make sure that nobody goes over there when they're leaving.
I think we need to like cause a bigger diversion.
That's what I was
Could we-
thinking.
Oh, I've got an idea.
Yeah.
What if we try to get everyone in the building to take part in a TikTok video?
Oh yeah.
So it would
Like-
be it would be
That'd be
really
great.
it would be really inconvenient if somebody walked into the break room right now and recognized Rebecca, wouldn't it?
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
Darn your luck.
Darn.
I know.
Would you like a fate point
Yes.
for a compel on your
Yes.
unlikely celebrity?
Yeah. Because as cool as that idea is, that was one of my other ideas. It's not good for us.
Yeah.
So
So you can either take the fate point, or that is
Hmm.
you do have the compel stunt on there. You could turn it around and make a create advantage that would help with that other plan.
yes, I think I'll do that. Because I think maybe more people will be likely to come if they know it's connected to
So let me,
someone who's minorly / mildly internet famous. Especially the younger people. They'll be like, yeah.
I'm going to call this flash mob.
Yes. Combine them.
Just a
God,
friendly
flash mobs
reminder.
haven't been a thing in so long.
They haven't.
Just a friendly reminder, you can like and subscribe the channel that you're watching right now, the Fate SRD YouTube channel. We also have a Fate Patreon at patreon.com/Fate_SRD or just SRD. If you search Fate SRD, you'll find it on Patreon. Thank you.
Don't forget to ring that bell as well to get notifications.
We don't do enough videos for that.
We see that 40% of you, that are watching have not subscribed yet. No, I'm not serious. That's not serious. I
Freeloaders.
see those all the time.
Freeloaders.
I will say the
I
bell
wanna
is
talk to you
actually
about Blue
important
Apron.
because it gets you more views.
Oh, the
does.
algorithm. Yeah,
It's the
that's a good point.
algorithm.
Help us beat the algorithm.
And it reminds me, I watched Space Jam: A New Legacy with my daughter, and
Oh.
let me just tell you that it is terrible. I mentioned that
Oh
because
no! Yeah, no, I knew.
I mentioned that because the bad guy is Algae Rhythm.
Yes.
Oh
So-
no.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
poor
the
Rhodey from the
algorithm.
MCU.
Oh boy.
So,
Okay, well let's so yes, you're in the break room, like heads together.
subscribe.
Emilio has like gone over to pour himself a cup of coffee, and a young woman in like nice business attire comes in. She's got like a little tablet that she's reviewing something on, and she looks up and she like stops and like does like a head cock thing as she sees Rebecca leaning over whispering to Dana, and,
Yeah.
and she just says, "Chembusters?"
Then
And Emilio over at the counter like looks up from his coffee and is like starting to turn around towards you. She's like,
say it's a whiplash. Whoosh.
yeah, he's not whiplashing, but like he like, and she's like, are you Rebecca Stein from Chembusters?
And she debates internally for a minute. She's like, shit, do I own up to this or do I not? And then she kind of weighs and she's like, given we are about to do the flash mob, maybe more people will come if I. So then she's like,
And
yeah, I'm here with the partnership with the local newspaper to help them with their videos.
She's like, she gets this like huge grin on her face. She's like, oh my god, and she holds up her tablet and she just taps it, and very clearly she just like sent a picture of you to everyone on Slack.
Ding, 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 all over the office.
And she's like, I watch all of your videos. I think you're amazing. What you do for science communication, for the kids, it is spectacular. And Emilio has definitely turned around to look at you now. With like
Yes.
just this like there's just this tiny crease between his eyes as his eyebrows kind of pull together a little bit.
Yes. She's like, well, we were just wrapping up our visit here. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're to meet you.
Two people kind of like pop their heads through the like around the doorway from either side of the break room doorway,
Yeah.
and they're like, "We thought you were kidding."
No, I'm here. We're just wrapping up here. We were gonna do. We had this idea to do a massive TikTok with everybody, you know, doing a boomerang where you jump in the air and jump back down, like showing like the awesome culture here. Like
You hear a thunk.
Yeah.
You hear a thunk from behind you as Emilio just sort of puts his coffee very purposefully down on the counter.
and she's like not turning his way. She's like afraid.
So Dana is gonna like turn towards Emilio and kind of like close the distance. Oh, you know, after the press conference, like we really wanted to try out this video stuff, and like Rebecca is just really good at video, and so we struck up a deal. She's gonna help us create our TikTok. Again, we're here for fair and balanced reporting, and you know we want to show both sides, and Rebecca just absolutely agreed to do that.
Oh, totally. She says, like dying on the inside.
So I think one of you needs to make an overcome on Emilio to get him to not like just
Aggro,
throw you out of the building.
Oof.
Like,
And I think whichever one of you does it can get a +1 teamwork bonus from the other one because you're both clearly working this guy together.
yeah. The only thing that I could think is like young and eager, like come across as like I'm just eager to like make a name for myself.
No matter what that means, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, for
No matter
for your skills, I could see former trust fund kid might work here.
Oh, yeah,
Just
yeah.
for like
Sorry,
schmoozing. But like I think Rebecca has the best because you're a professional people person essentially.
Yeah.
So I think you could use YouTube Science Communicator with a +1 for teamwork from Dana.
Oh, right.
And then you've got the flash mob free invokes if you need to.
All right.
Emilio is going to get a defense roll against this though. So.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, that sure is something.
Yeah, that's a dice roll. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you get a +1 from teamwork, and then if you want to spend both of your flash mob points, that would get you up to 5.
That's only 3 though.
What's the difficulty you're going against?
Well, he gets a defense roll.
Okay.
And
well, then,
remember, he has like beast defense rolls.
yeah, don't spend anything until you see what his defense roll is.
Okay.
He is at a 5.
So
yeah, if right now you're at 1 because you didn't add in the +1 teamwork bonus. You spent both of the flash mobs, that would get you up to 5. And then if you wanted to push even further with a fate point, you could.
Is this an overcome?
It's an overcome. So if you hit with a 5, you could succeed with a minor cost. But I will tell you, we're about to wrap up the human phase anyway. So
yeah, I feel like that makes sense to succeed with a minor cost. But yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, or you could succeed at a major cost. But
yeah, you could just take it now and succeed with a major cost.
But if we're getting ready to transition scenes, you could make it a minor cost to make it less interesting.
I'll make it less interesting.
Or you can make it more interesting. I mean, we know what I want.
I know what you want. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, fine. Yeah. Let's do major costs because, like, as long as we succeed and we get the others out, I feel like Rebecca has accepted her fate. So, yeah. No, that makes sense.
So Emilio like stops for a moment, just kind of stares at the two of you, and then his smile comes back up even bigger, and he's like, "You know what? I think it's a great idea. Let's get everybody in the building. Let's go out. Let's make a big group thing of it. I love it. I love this idea. Let's go." And
yeah, she starts sweating because she's like, "Oh God, he's agreeing."
He gestures for the two of you to head out in front of him. The group of people that have come in to meet you are like, "Wait, we're doing a TikTok out in the parking lot. Awesome, let's tell everybody." And they start like leading you out to the elevators, and you can just see him pulling his cell phone out of his pocket as you're drawn away.
Mm-hmm.
So
No.
that happened. But yeah, literally everyone that works in the building is like heading out. You two can like hear the people filing out from outside. And after a moment, like I'm not even gonna make you roll to get out of the server room with the data, because literally there's nobody left on the entire floor by the time you leave the room. So
Yes.
and with that, yeah, you so effectively, you got the information. You'll be able to use that against the company however you see fit. But Dana and Rebecca are very effectively burned from by the company. Like, you're the targets now, and the way Good Neighbors is actually set up in future campaign play, the industry actually has a like tree of responses that it takes, like moves it makes against people. And if we were going into further play, you two would be the primary targets of all
Right.
those moves going forward for the foreseeable future. But as it is, I think we will transition to the fairy phase next. Are we okay taking like a 5-minute break just to let everybody like stretch their legs and whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Yes,
sounds
please.
great.
Okay, let's do a 5-minute break and we'll come back and be fairies.
All right.
'Cause I need a drink.
increase the audio, and we are back. Awesome. Take it away, Paul.
Okay, so now we will go to the fairy phase of the game. You should all be back up to 3 fate points on your character sheets.
Yes.
Because humans and fairies have their own pools of fate points. You're not sharing it between the two of them for the whole session.
Okay, so it literally is 2 characters.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
troop style play. I just you
Okay.
know you're on the same character sheet because otherwise there would have been 8 of them in Roll20 to juggle. And that
Yeah, no. You made the right decision here.
and
Okay.
the game does come with actually like a flip book style character sheet for the human half on the top and the fairy half on the bottom, and you just turn the whole thing upside down. I really liked
Awesome.
what Fred did with the layout on that. But
Cool.
yeah, so we are back with now you are all playing your fairy characters, so Tack and Silver and Oneros and Sunset. And we begin in the court of the local fairies of Still Hollow. It's in the woods somewhere outside of town, and it's very picturesque nature scene with like a vaulted tree canopy and like chairs and tables and all sorts of furniture seem to be grown straight out of the woods themselves. And you're all attending the court of the Summer Queen, Alphania, and it's not really like it's a day of minor obligation. Like you're all just sort of expected to show up and greet the queen, and then you're free to go about your business. But for now, all 4 of you are here at the court. How do each of you comport yourselves in the court for this minor obligation day? Like, are you happy to be here? Are you here because grumble, I have to be?
Well, since Sunset wants to be the queen, I feel like they probably don't want to be here, but they will make themselves known and also look fabulous doing it. So, however the court is set up, they are sitting in their chair, kind of arms very delicately folded, legs tucked at the ankle, and patiently and pleasantly listening to the court proceedings.
Tack is very much just sitting kind of in the back, trying to make themselves be as small as possible, does not want to attract any attention, and generally just kind of tries to blend in as much as possible, because does not like being in court, but is, indebted to the court currently.
Oneros is kind of flitting between different groups and like chatting, and some of them have various different reactions to their presence. Some people are like over like, oh ha hi hello, and other people are like, oh god, like the ones he's most recently pranked, or that they've most recently pranked, or tricked or done anything about, are not pleased. But they're it is kind of a pain to have to go through these court proceedings, but it does offer opportunities to, to discover new riddles and puzzles, and also to play tricks on people, which is like, the thing. So they're gonna make the best of it.
All I'm saying is that there are plenty of little fairy trumpets playing as 12 white mice pull along a gorgeous pumpkin carriage. Coming out of the carriage, of course, is the most ornately dressed in black and silver fairy that you've seen. It's just like, hello, hi everybody. It's nice to see you here. Oh, you're looking good. That's nice. It's been a while since I've seen you near us. No pranks on me. Thanks. No pranks, thanks. Yeah. Oh, Tack. Oh, Tack is. I know. I got my eye on you, Tack. Yeah, that's a good.
Okay, so yeah, you all go through the brief ritual that's required of greeting the queen, and it is also allowed as you stand from the bow, if you have any business to present to the queen, you're free to do so. I don't imagine anyone has anything particularly pressing right now, unless I'm wrong.
Indeed, you are wrong.
What's your pressing business?
The pressing business is that the humans are doing the craziness that they're doing is not that crazy. They follow all of the rules. It's been a long time since there's been a fantastical kind of like a 12-car pilot car crash or like anything's exploded. Mm-hmm.
Actually, as you say that, like you see some other fairies around, like nodding, kind of agreeing with you that like maybe they think things are being a little boring, but you hear a voice from the far end of the court, this kind of flowing, a burbling voice from the back, and they say, "The hell you say!"
Oh.
And everyone turns to see who speaks, and there is a sinewy shape that in mostly tones of blue and brown, that you all recognize as Nutmeg, the fairy spirit that lives in that like has claimed Nutmeg Creek as their domain, and they do not look well. Like normally they kind of have like a flowing hair and like sort of mud brown kind of robes kind of look to them, and like that's still there, but there's also this like sickly like green streaks through it, and like parts of their like arm is kind of like there's just like a it's like if you took a cartoon character and you just cut a circle, like a semicircle out of their arm, and like it still
like someone
moves,
hole punched the animation.
Yeah, it still moves like it's whole, but like there's gaps in them.
Oh, my dear Nutmeg, you're glowing and you're missing part of your arm. Oh my dear, sit back down. What has happened to you?
I don't know. The humans have done something. Look at me.
Why, indeed, I am. I just don't know what I'm seeing. My word.
Yeah. She kind of grimaces and doubles over a little bit, and like she shakes as if she's like coughing or retching, although she's not really making the sound. And then like she kind of like cups her hands in front of her mouth, and like as she pulls them away, there's like sludge in her hands.
My queen, we should not hurry on this. Certainly.
Yeah, Alfania has like stood up and come over, and she looks at Nutmeg, and then she looks at the crowd and says, "This is most disturbing, my people. What should be done about this?" And like there's a murmur of voices, and like you hear a few people are like, "Well, we can't be too hasty."
Tack's gonna stand up and it's the humans. They're destroying our town or our domain. They're destroying it. We need to do something about it. We need to get the humans out. The peace
Well-
can no longer be held.
I do not know about that, my dear fairy, but I do say we need to deal with this, because how can we make merry and hold elections in court when our people are dying? Yes, we should put it to a vote.
Now, wait a minute. I want to put something out there that I don't think any of us have considered yet. And I think that that's the fact that Oneirus is trying to trick us yet again. I'm willing to bet that this is a plant, that nutmeg that's been planted by Oneirus to try and trick us into thinking that something bad's going on. Now, it sounds interesting and perhaps flashy and fun, but I don't know. I remain unconvinced.
Oh my goodness! I'm saying I can't even feel like myself in these conditions. I certainly don't want to play pranks on people. I want her to stop vomiting goo. I just.
Silver, your language and decorum for this court are most uncouth. I would remind you of the pleasantries that must be taken when speaking to others of your kind. And how dare you accuse Nutmeg of being a plant? Oneirus may be a trickster, but we all care for our own.
That's true, but
So-
this might be
so-
a gift returned back from Nutmeg to Oneirus.
Somebody in the crowd just sort of chuckles and goes, Oneirus is a river spirit, not a plant. Or not Oneirus, a nutmeg. Nutmeg is a river spirit.
Well, true. I do owe her a return gift, but this is not to do with that.
The queen, Alphania, she kind of straightens herself up and she says, I refuse to believe that the humans in total have done anything of the sort. The people of Still Hollow are good and true to the old promises made. But it is true, we must remedy whatever has happened to poor Nutmeg here. And she like puts a hand on Nutmeg's shoulder. And the queen says, I will say this, whoever gets to the bottom of this and restores poor Nutmeg to health will have done this court a great gift. Yes, Randy?
I want to suggest a compel for Amelia, for Oneirus. I kind of started to set it up, but I'm making it explicit that, like, basically Oneirus, the compel that I'm setting up, I'm not actually spending one of my fate points for it, is that the blame is going to fall on them because they are a trickster. And
I totally got that.
Yeah, the water spirit came, like river spirit came straight to them. So like this feels like it could just be like them like pulling some shit. And so basically what could end up happening is like part of the motivation is not only like the queen's reward, but trying to prove that Oneirus
Vindication, yeah.
Yeah, is like not part of this because I want to prove that it is. So that gives me motivation, to look into this. It's like, well, of course I'm going to come with you to make sure that you don't like falsify information. And I don't know what everybody else's motivation might be, but it's just a suggestion. Take it or leave it.
Does that sound like a cool compel to you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. That's why I was going with it, because that's the more Randy was leading into it, the more Oneirus is like, no, I'm serious. I'm not joking this time.
So go ahead and add a fate point in, and from the crowd you hear more voices saying, probably is one of Oneirus's pranks. How can we believe that the humans would do anything of the sort? We've always lived in peace with them. This is Oneirus, and Alphania kind of looks like she stands taller than pretty much everyone else in the court. She looks down at Oneros and says, "Well, the court clearly does not trust you. What say you to this?"
Clearly, well, I would present evidence, but clearly you would not believe me, as I had been walking around the town when I saw it. So I propose that these three come with me while I reinvestigate to clear my good name. My accuser, obviously. And then Sunset and oh my gosh, Tack, who are both known to be upstanding citizens. And they bow.
The queen looks over the four of you and says, "Well, then it is settled. You shall be our commission to restore Nutmeg here and to learn the truth of it. You have until the next moon to solve this matter." And we'll say that's at least a week or two.
Yeah.
And should you prove your innocence and restore Nutmeg to health, you will have done a boon to this court, and it will be recognized.
Sunset
Thank
will
you, Your
stand
Highness.
up and bow very deeply and say, "Thank you, my queen. I will graciously accept this opportunity to help the court and a fellow fairy."
I would like to attempt to create an advantage using clever gentry. And as I bow, saying, it is my great honor to serve as commissioner of this commission. To create the advantage of commissioner, putting me in charge of the commission.
No. I love it.
I mean,
Oh,
unless somebody wants to fight you, that's not going to be an opposed.
Because the thing is
Well,
that
the
you
queen
could
might
you
not
could
want
compel
to
me.
declare one.
If
Yeah.
I tried to fight that, you could compel me on I carefully avoid duty, because I probably want to do the bare minimum with this to clear my name. And the reason why too is Onerous turns to Nutmeg and goes, "If I do this for you, this will be my gift to you, healing you." And like pats them on the shoulder.
Nutmeg kind of like looks at you like they still look queasy, but they also kind of like their eyes widen a little bit. It's like they know what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the real reason they're in this, is because of the gift.
Yeah.
I am going to fight Silver on being the
Okay.
commissioner of this commission.
So you're gonna so then
So
now
you-
I do have to roll.
Yeah.
All right.
You'll roll, Randy. You'll roll, and Mallory, you'll defend against it.
So how are you pushing back against me declaring myself commissioner?
Mallory is not good at doublespeak.
Sorry.
But I'm going to say that Sunset is, because they are a sneaky gentry and know exactly what to say to try to get their way. So.
All right.
I could imagine you're actually like talking Silver up in such a way as to make everyone else realize that they're actually a terrible choice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. All right, let's roll.
Oh no. Yes.
I'm spending fate points. I don't know what you're talking about. So
PvP.
Yeah.
Seriously. Who needs NPCs or bad guys when we have each other?
Exactly.
Let's see. So I actually have an invoke stunt. So I'm going to. Oh no! Wait a minute. That's when I invoke an aspect. Yes. So my clever gentry. I'm going to. So that I understand this correctly, Paul. If I spend my fate point on clever gentry, which is my invoke stunt one, do I also get the benefits of the invoke stunt?
It's always optional, so you could just get a +2.
So I get either the benefit of the stunt or whatever.
yeah, the stunt
Okay.
is always optional. So like if you don't want to reroll, you don't have to use the stunt.
Okay. And choose to reroll your dice. Oh, you get +2 result mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I hadn't
Basically,
really
if you have the invoke stunt, it just supercharges a reroll.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I will spend a fate point though on. I'm going to spend a fate point on tied up in the game. I am going to basically like everything that Sunset says that tries to make me look bad. I'm just going to like turn it around and just be like, well, absolutely, like you don't want a commissioner that's too good or a commissioner that like, you couldn't trust. Like, I mean, Hitler crossed all of his T's and dots all of his I's, and he was horrible. But then you've got someone like Eisenhower who cross-dressed and was fine. So I'm going to spend my fate point on tied up in the game.
So that'll bring you up to a 7.
Yes.
I am going to spend a fate point on I'm the cleverest in the room. I have some dirt on Silver that I'm going to let slip just a little bit of it while I'm talking about them, but in such a way where it's just kind of like, oh, well, we were at this party together and blah, 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 and something, something, something. Like, talking them up, but also, like, I'm just like,
So that brings you up to
doing
an 8.
that. Yes.
Yes, but I'm a careful politico, so I've let you think that you have all of this dirt on me when the reality is that I have neutralized that dirt already. And so what you think is a big reveal is something that everybody's really already heard through the grapevine, but a softened version of it.
Mhm.
So yes, I did spend a second fate
That
point.
brings you up to a 9.
I'm going to spend a fate point on Flashy Benefactor. Somebody comes up to my defense who is also at the court and says that I should be the commissioner.
Well, I
10.
mean, I know definitely that that Oneros would be pulling more for them than for Randy's character because, like, yeah.
Okay, Randy, do you want to push it any further?
Well, the first thing that I want to ask is I want to ask Tack if like what loyalty does Tack have to Sunset? I don't think very much. I think it might behoove you to give me a teamwork bonus to help out here. I mean, you pick a side.
Yeah, Tack is
Yes,
just
and my
kind
good
of like
friend Tack will vouch for my character.
Tack just kind of looks down at the ground and shuffles his feet or shuffles their feet a little bit. Silver, and just like very timid about it.
So teamwork bonus will actually push us to a tie.
Yes, and I will, and because it's overcome, I will succeed at a minor cost. Unless
No,
Mallory wants to spend another fate point.
this was create an advantage. You said because you're trying to create the aspect that you're the commissioner.
Oh shit, that would leave me with a boost. The most expensive boost ever. So a very expensive boost.
Yeah. Unless one of the other two PCs wants to throw in their fate points on one of your behalfs.
No, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm fudge. I'm done too. I want to spend all of my fate points on this to make this work, but I think we've gotten a good scene out of it. Now, Paul, this leaves you with the chance of like, okay, I get a boost, or you can create an aspect that reflects backfiring.
I feel like I really did advocate for myself a lot. I might have annoyed some people by speaking for too long because I have stepped on too many toes.
Yeah. Are you asking for a compel on that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. You can take your fate point. Here's what's gonna happen. Alfania has been watching the two of you lobby for commissioner, a post which she did not actually create.
I just want Silver to have it.
And finally, like, and the crowd is like kind of gotten whipped up. Like people are kind of like murmuring to each other, and like every once in a while somebody will shout, one of your names. And Alfania finally comes over to Silver and just sort of bends down so that she's kind of, at your level, and she just puts a hand out on your shoulder and just says, "Very well. Silver is the commissioner. The success or failure of this commission will lay with him. So let it be." And she stands up and steps back from you. And so if y'all fail, it's on Silver's head.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
So is that that sounds like it's an aspect out there?
I mean, you have the commissioner aspect.
Oh well, I mean, the thing is it the commissioner aspect?
But
no,
I have
a
free invoke on it against you.
I think it's.
This one's supposed to be against me, so I feel like this is bad against Silver. So.
Well, no.
Well,
there's something else for your compel.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. So then go ahead and add commissioner. Add the free invoke for you. And gulp.
Oh boy.
So not only do I have to just prove that Oneros did it, I have to actually solve it. Fuck.
Mm-hmm. And Neris just smiles.
Damn it.
This is all worked out perfectly. You've, as they said, played yourself, Silver.
That's true. You can call me Mr. You can call me
Sorry,
Commissioner.
Mr. Commissioner. Yes.
Just call me Commissioner, not Mr.
Mixed Commissioner. Yes. So Mixed Commissioner. That's the MX, like the gender neutral.
Mick.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mixed Commissioner. Where in your infinite wisdom do you believe that we should start?
I believe that we should start by naming the commission.
The commission has already been named. Mixed
Oh,
Commissioner.
no. You misunderstand me. I'm talking about the formal name for the commission, so that it goes down in history as those who solved and proved that
You're
Oneros
doubling
is
down on this.
and basically I'm just gonna sandbag for a little bit about I mean I love the game, and so I want to make sure the commission's got a good name and that
While Silver is going on about the commission's name, Oneros is growing bored and slips something down the back of Silver's shirt. like something, I don't know, like seeds or water or something harmless, but just they're just I need to do something.
Okay. Are you trying to be sneaky about it, or are you just doing it?
I mean, they're a curious sneak, so I'm gonna say they're gonna be sneaky about it while they're trying to get people to name the commission or come up with a name. Should I? Or would that be forceful trickster sage or curious sneak?
I mean, I don't really, unless there's something you're trying to accomplish by this, I don't know if we need to roll for it.
No, I don't think I need to roll for it.
Yeah, because I'm fine with just.
Oh, you're fine with that? Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, I'm cool.
But
yeah.
Yeah, so that's what they do. They slip ice. And if you were to turn around, they're back where they were.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So meanwhile,
was that a gift?
Mallory, Sunset. While what's that, Randy?
Grayson pointed out that it's a gift, and it is not a gift because while Oneros gave it to me, it was not a gift. She didn't actually give it to me. She did not present it as a gift, so it is not a gift. Especially because I don't know who to thank for that very cold piece of ice.
Sunset finds themselves like while Silver and Oneris were going back and forth about naming the commission and dumping ice down each other's shirts. Sunset finds themselves somehow off to the side, face to face with Queen Alphania,
Ooh.
and
My queen.
she has a very precisely composed look on her face, and she says, "I applaud you on your efforts."
I thank you, my queen.
Silver may be commissioner, but I will also be watching your performance in this affair very closely.
Oh, of course. I only aim to please, my queen.
And remember that the throne is chosen by fate, not by politics.
Well,
If-
then I can only hope that fate will be in my favor.
Let it be as it will. Good luck.
Thank you, my queen.
And she just sort of turns and sort of swishes away from you back toward Nutmeg and like puts an arm around Nutmeg and just sort of starts leading her out of the court as the crowd is just sort of murmuring and slowly dispersing themselves, leaving the four of you standing around having to come up with a way to solve all this.
Well, we're no closer than we were 2 hours ago. Let's go to the creek. We know Nutmeg was affected. I know Nutmeg was affected. I saw. Shall we away?
Yes, lead us to where you set the trap.
Oh my god. Let's just.
Smash cut.
I know.
I can just
Please.
imagine in the
So-
fairy
so-
version, instead of it just being like a typical smash cut, it's like literally like a cartoon hammer that just
Yeah.
comes down.
You are on the banks of Nutmeg Creek, which is it's a modest waterway that sort of winds down out of the hills and sort of through, not right through the center of Still Hollow, but it goes through Still Hollow. They built the city park along it, which is usually the area where Nutmeg resides, because she likes being near humans, although she doesn't take kindly to kids like climbing on the rocks and slipping down into the water. But that's mostly where she resides, is down by the park. The sun has just gone down, so under cover of darkness, you slip through the human town to the creek. And as you examine it in the moonlight, the rocks are mostly dry, but down just along the line of the water, you see this like sort of sickly green glow.
See, I told you. It wasn't this bad when I came here last. And that wasn't even that long ago.
I would like to declare a story detail
Uh-huh.
with Flashy Benefactor,
Uh-huh.
which has the declare stunt.
Uh-huh.
Because I am a Flashy Benefactor between humans and fairy alike, I would like to say that one of my human somethings, I don't really know, who is like a park ranger, is here to serve as a guide, kind of thing, to help us look for what we need to find.
Okay. What is this? What is this person's name?
Hold on.
Dinesh. This is his first name came to mind. Is my microphone on?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
it's
all right,
it's a good
okay.
idea.
All right. Okay. I was fiddling
No
with the
interactive.
button. I was fiddling with the button on it, so I wasn't sure if maybe I was quiet.
Dinesh Fowler.
So, yeah, this is they're they work for the Parks Department, which, you know, they're one of 3 people in the Parks Department of this small town, but they tend to they tend to the like they're the person who runs the like who sets up the sprinkler systems and stuff to like run overnight. So like, is this what are Dinesh's pronouns?
I'm gonna go with he/him, but
He,
I'm imagining that he's like way overqualified for this job, but he just likes working outside so much
yeah.
that, you know,
So
it's
like
the only thing.
he's just finished like putting like all of his like groundskeeping equipment away and stuff for the night, and you're able to signal to him however you normally do.
Hmm.
And he arrives on the edge of the creek and looks down at the 4 of you sort of down examining the water, and like there's this kind of like faint sparkle in his eyes that, you know, you've given him some sort of, you know, magical boon that allows him to sort of be aware of you all and
Yeah.
interact with you in a way that humans normally don't.
I see Dinesh approaching, and I'll stand up and throw my arms open wide and start walking towards him in like a very elegant, like kind of swaying manner, I guess. Say, Dinesh, it is so lovely to see you, my lovely human, and we'll give him a little pat on the head.
Ah, what can I do for you this evening?
Oh, you see, we are here on a very important, very vital task for protecting you and my kind alike. You see, we have come to be aware that this lovely little creek here seems to have something going on with it, and we're not quite sure what really is happening. Silver over there seems to be blaming the humans. I think that is absolutely ridiculous, and so do most of my kind. But I know that there's this nasty little company that's moved in recently. Maybe it was something there related, but
Oh yes, it's been in the papers and on the news. There's some sort of contamination in the water.
oh, that is most horrible. That would explain Nutmeg's condition, would it not? I look back towards everybody, especially at Silver.
It's true. If Cornelius put something in the water, it would affect everyone.
I told you the humans did it.
So we need your help trying to get rid of this little contamination that's in this lovely little river that you have.
You have the power to clean up the water. That's amazing. I heard that it would be far too expensive and difficult to clean up.
Oh, I didn't say anything about us having the powers to just magic away the water, but we need to find the problem that's happening and then get rid of it.
Oh, of course. Well, it must be coming from upstream. We could go for a hike, I suppose.
Oh, that sounds absolutely lovely. If you would please guide us.
Um, Sure, just let me call home and tell my husband I'll be out late.
Oh yes, please do that.
And
I
he kind
forgot
of
you lovely little humans have to sleep. It's very cute.
he wanders off a little bit, pulls out his cell phone, makes a call. I I may be sleeping on the couch, but
Oh, that sounds wonderfully comfortable. I hope you have a restful night when you get home.
thank you. Well, let's be on our way, I suppose. And he just starts hiking upstream.
Yep.
Yeah, you've ensorcelled this person. Like, he does what he's told, but he's still just a dude.
Oh, bless him.
Oh yeah, I mean, listen, I'm a fae.
Yeah,
You
What you do.
benefit some humans. They're just like, oh, you're so cute.
yeah. So he just
This
starts.
little thing can help me.
Yeah, he just starts leading you upstream, and you quickly head out of town because it's like I said, it doesn't go through the heart of town, but it just goes it winds up into the woods, sort of north and east of the town, and you walk for a long while, through the night. He's got a flashlight. Um, and every once in a while, after a bit, you start seeing lights in the woods off to either side of the stream,
Hmm.
like street light kind of electric lights. And he notices them. He's like, yeah, those are the wells that they've been drilling.
Oh, to give you your water that you need to live.
No, they're pulling gas up from deep underground that we use to make electricity.
Oh, that
Lord.
sounds.
Is that smell? Smell it from here.
Oh yes, that is quite foul.
And
Well, I hope when it powers your homes, it doesn't cause everywhere to stink.
it can, I suppose.
Oh, that is most unfortunate. You poor thing.
Terrible.
The four of you, as you're talking and walking, he's telling you about these things. The four of you feel this kind of like faint rumbling in the earth, like something is restless. And Dinesh does not seem to notice at all. But you keep walking, and you still see traces of that sort of greenish, contamination in the creek as you're following it. So it's still clearly coming from upstream somewhere. And every once in a while, Dinesh has to like shoo away like some curious wildlife or that's in your path. And after about 3 hours of walking upstream, you start to hear the sounds of machinery from ahead and off to the one side. And Dinesh clearly also hears it as well. And he says, somebody must be working on another wellhead up there. They're putting them all around the valley.
I can
seems
hear
like
a sense
seems
of,
like an awful lot of them.
I can hear a bit of concern in your voice. Is that accurate?
I'm not fond of the industry moving into town, It's not good for, well, I mean, he points at the creek. It's clearly not good for the water or for people's health, but there's money in it, so of course it gets done.
Oh, well, hopefully with our little intervention, maybe we'll be able to clear up some of this mess for you.
And just then, you all hear shouts from up ahead where the machinery noises are coming from, and like a clattering of metal.
That doesn't sound good.
And Dinesh like looks
Ew.
very concerned and is like sort of staring off in that direction.
Yeah, I'll just look down to him and say, "Is that normal?"
It sounds like someone might be in trouble.
We should go help them.
Yes, I suppose we should go find out what is happening.
Randy?
I want to compel for me.
Okay, what's your...
I want my compel to be on the aspect Silver's in charge. And I want to I want to be literally struck by the realization that this is not Oneirus's doing. So I'm presuming that, like, I mean, I don't know how you want to shape that as a compel, but I'm happy to take a very moderate consequence as part of that compel to realize, like, that I've been struck with the knowledge that this is not Oneirus's doing.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
And I
A startling
now know
revelation.
that I am way over my head now.
Yep.
Because it is not her doing, and so I am effed in the A.
Yep.
I don't say any of that out loud.
Yep.
But
and we'll say that you are the last one to like head up in that direction when others suggest it.
This is not Oneirus's fault as a moderate consequence.
At some point, Sunset will notice and look back and say, "Commissioner, we do need your presence as we are investigating this sound."
Yes, absolutely. We need to prove that Oneirus did this. So let us continue. We need to prove that this is.
Oh my word! Yes, you need to.
I need to find it.
Dinesh had
listen.
brought
I need to tell you this, okay? Listen, if it is not Oneirus's fault, then that means that there is something genuinely wrong. And if something is genuinely wrong, then the commission that we're on, the Still Hollow Clearwater Creek Revival Commission is means it's my responsibility, and then suddenly I have to take care of things. So it's Oneirus's fault. Let's go find out how.
So Dinesh had brought a backpack with bottled water and stuff, and also a first aid kit, and he fishes the first aid kit out of his backpack and just starts hustling up toward whatever's going on up there, just in case somebody needs medical attention. The rest of you follow up that way.
Yep.
Okay. So you can see as you kind of go up a little bit of a hill that there are a number of big trucks and digging equipment and portable work lights connected to a generator, illuminating this scene of the humans have been digging in the ground. And apparently they had been pulling some kind of metal containers out of the ground and stacking them up to one side, and the stack must have toppled because they're all now sort of spilled down back into the pit that they've been digging. And you can see a couple of humans, one has a leg pinned under one of these containers, and a couple more are down in there trying, they have a pry bar and trying to lift it off of the person. And Dinesh kind of looks back at you and then holds up the first aid kit, and he clearly wants to go help people.
Well.
But like he's asking permission.
Oh yeah, I'll
Bless
probably
him.
stand there awkwardly for a few seconds, like for probably like 30 seconds, not realizing what's happening. I'll say, "Oh yes, go help your people."
And the four of you can just sort of feel this like fetid energy coming up, like spilling up out of this pit.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's nothing really like visible so much. It's just this like wave of grossness that washes over you.
Tuck, you're
That's
quite
disgusting.
hardy folk. Why don't you go investigate and see what that strange energy is?
Yes, yes. I will go down there and help them.
Oh no.
So I will point
Uh,
out, like, fairies are not like naturally invisible or anything. Like if you go and just like walk amongst humans, they will see you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're good at like Tack isn't, but many fairies are good at hiding. Tack is not at all.
Oh.
Oh no.
Because
Then
again,
I will.
you don't have sneaky. Like you can like just try and be like quick and like zip in between them and like get out the other side, but you can't like go down in there, stop, examine things without being noticed.
Oh, I'm
Eh,
sneaky though. I
Yeah.
forgot. I was thinking that for some reason Tack had it, but I was remembering
yeah, no.
reading Tack's information. So I will take it. Actually, Tack, I will put a hand on your shoulder and say, actually, Tack, I think I'm best suited for this task, and I will be a sneaky gentry and sneak my sneaky sneak to the sneak location.
Okay.
You are approved to do that, Sunset.
And
Yep.
and while Sunset is doing that, Tack is gonna actually like carefully look over all the machinery while everyone is distracted with everything that's been gone or
Sure.
going
Yeah.
on.
Go ahead and give me a roll for that as well. Yeah. Sunset is easily able to sneak down in, and like you're hiding like behind some equipment and stuff, and you get a closer look at what's going on. Tack, you're looking over all the equipment from a safe distance, and yeah, this is a lot of like heavy, like earth moving equipment and like big trucks to like carry heavy things away. Clearly, whatever they're digging up here, like there's a lot of it that they need to move.
They're digging up our roots. Can I, knowing that, can I actually like disable some of the equipment?
Possibly. But first, Sunset has snuck up, and Dinesh just ran up with like a first aid kit and was like, some of the workers are like, who are you? What are you doing out here? And he's like, doesn't matter. Let me help him. And like it's like going down to like help get the man whose leg has been pinned, like get him out and like help start tending the wound and stuff. But like some of the other workers are like, no, you can't be here. It's not safe. Get back. What are Silver and Oneros? What are you doing?
I know what I'm doing if you need time, Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay. So I find, I mean, humans are so fascinating. So I want to kind of like get a good vantage point to kind of like see what's going on. And hey, it turns out that there is one of their phones right there that's like that like in like everything that happened, like it fell out of a pocket and it swiped over to video. And I'm like, no, like they need a better angle on this. So I'm gonna like reset the angle on the camera, and like hit the big red button that says whatever it is that the humans have it say, so that like I can like record like the humans do all the fun stuff that they do. Um, So basically, that's my intention is to like get as a character. My intention is to mimic human conventions for like watching what other humans do because they do this on like Instagram and TikTok all the time. I see humans staring down at their phones, but like I know from a player perspective, like I'm starting a live stream of everything that's going on there right now. So I don't know what that means in this situation.
I
Like
mean,
I don't
you
know
could
if there's
just
something a role I could
no,
just do it.
you can just
Like
do it.
I don't know. Like you know what? Maybe it's a create advantage
Sure.
that could
Could
add
be.
another story to detail. So yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. I will try to create the advantage like live streamed disaster,
Okay.
and I'm going to use the approach of the industry has no flash. Um, so I'm trying to like get a good TikTok for them.
Hmm.
Um, so let's see.
It's
Let's
always
get
coming back to TikTok in this
Oh
game.
my god, I know.
right.
Okay.
All right. So that's
Um,
a 2. I don't know where we sit on that.
I mean, unless I say otherwise, it's usually a 2.
Okay.
So that would be, and you're trying to create an advantage. So like that would be worth a boost to you if you.
That would be worth a boost, but you know what? I have fate points, and I
If you
am
want to,
good at
you can use also Dinesh.
Hmm.
Dinesh.
Yeah, there
Hmm,
are 2 free invokes on him, so.
that's a good question. I tell you what, why don't we go ahead and I'll use one of the ones from Dinesh, assuming that Dinesh kind of like sees what I'm doing and like, angles the phone a little bit or like hits the appropriate button
Yeah,
because I,
it's like, no, you need to go
you know,
live.
yeah.
You have to hit
Oh,
the go
thank you.
live button.
Thank you. I thought that. Okay, thank you very much. You're very useful. I can see why they keep you around.
Okay, so yeah, we'll create live stream
Yes.
disaster.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Copy these. Paste.
And just to add a little bit more flavor to it, Silver is also going to like. Oh no, we're fairies, so we really don't want to be on film. So never mind.
Well, I have
All right.
something. I have something for that, both because of what you're doing and in general. So,
Okay.
Aneros looks over at Silver Filming and is like, "Oh God, like they were already gonna do this, but like it's even more of a priority now." So they want to try and cause some type of situation to where the humans will clear out or start clearing out.
Mhm.
I want to say maybe they cast like some type of magic like to like fake fireworks or
Yeah.
something like that to where they're like, oh god, something's exploding, or we need to get out of here. So do I need to roll for that?
Yes.
Okay.
How would you? You are. I mean, that sounds forceful to me. You're just like, fireworks! Get out of here!
Fireworks, lightning. Oh yeah, let's do
Thunderbolt
that.
and lightning, very very frightening.
Me.
Superb. That's success with style. Yeah.
Heck yeah.
You do that, and you hear like this just cry of alarm go up from all around this pit as people are going, fire! Shit's on fire! Get out! And like everyone who's not currently pinned under a barrel is running in every direction.
Yes, all according to plan.
And like Dinesh is like looking at everyone fleeing around him, and like he suddenly realizes, oh god, where are we? And like he's struggling harder to get this guy out from under this barrel.
And Oneros will join him in trying to get that guy out, and he says it's fake. It's not real fire. Okay, some of it might be real fire, but most of it is fake.
Yes, but what are they afraid of? They're not afraid of the fire. They're afraid of what's on fire.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
So the two of you managed to get this guy out from under the barrel, and you can just see his leg is just mangled. Like, this was a 50-gallon drum of something dense.
Oh, jeez.
like he has the other leg is fine. You can help him out of the pit to like together if you want to.
Yeah, let's do that. And well, he doesn't have any blood loss, but he does need to go to the hospital. It's that bone. The way your human's bones go backwards when you fall and get crushed by things. Ugh.
So yeah, Tack, you've been examining all the equipment, and you think you know basically how these things work. You're a as a worker kind of fairy, you have an affinity for like the tools that humans use to do their work. So like you're free to like do what you want with these tools.
So Tack is going to just go to each of the heavy machines, anything that's like designed to move Earth, very specifically anything designed to move Earth. So, and he's going to just like start pulling out wires and cabling, specifically like electrical wires and not any of the hydraulics, because he doesn't want it to leak.
Right.
Or they don't want it to leak. To just basically disable all of the machines so that they can't move anymore.
Yeah, you can very quickly go through and just disable all of the trucks and backhoes and whatnot. No roll required for that because there's nobody here to stop you.
They're all gone.
Okay. Sunset, what are you doing?
Unmute myself. That is an excellent question. Can I have a reminder of what's going on right now that I can help out with?
So Dinesh and Oniros are helping a injured workman up out of the pit. Tack is currently disabling all of the machinery, and Silver is live streaming it all to Instagram or TikTok, whichever you prefer.
I did sneak down to where the weird energy was.
Yeah, all of the rest of the humans have fled after a fireworks display from Oniros. And Dinesh seems very concerned by that. But yes, you've sort of come to the edge of the pit, and you can see that you can just feel waves of just awfulness from specifically from these like metal containers, these barrels. That some of them have tumbled back into the hole. They look old, and like there's like rust on them in places. And
is it the same like vibe I was getting from the creek then?
Yeah, now that you're closer to it, it does feel like that sort of contamination. You can't see any of the green stuff yet. But you're close enough to like a large concentration of whatever this is that you can still even feel it from here.
Okay. All right. I think I have an idea. Being that I am the cleverest in the room, I would like to find a vessel and take a sample of this green weirdness with the bad energy. I'm getting some bad vibes off of this.
So do you want to like try and actually like tap into one of these barrels? Because
you said none of them are leaking.
None of them are currently.
But they do look like rusty.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I'm thinking like. If I find the right tools and the right kind of container, I can find something to hold this
There's like an empty gas can over by the generator, and
yeah,
you can easily collect a sample if you want to break one of these things open.
Yeah, but I'm trying to do it in like a clever way because that's what I'm working with. So,
a crowbar is clever.
In a way that like isn't going to necessarily hurt me. I mean, it is because it's
that
radiation.
But that would be more careful.
Yeah.
which you are not necessarily careful.
No.
This is true.
Yeah.
Clever would be like if you needed to like rig up some kind, like you could rig up a way to do it from a distance. It might take time.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I think we have, as far as I'm concerned, we have time.
So you start making this like Rube Goldberg device that will like, you know, like swing a hammer down from a tree branch and like knock a hole inside of it while you where you place the gas can and stuff.
Do I have to roll anything for this?
Not really.
Okay.
You're clever, and like I said, it will just take time. While Sunset is doing that, what is everyone else doing? I will say, Silver, looking through the camera on the phone, you do not actually see anyone except Dinesh and the injured man. All you see are like colored orbs of the other fairies moving around.
Okay.
Because fairies don't show up on cameras, I'm declaring.
Okay, that's
like,
fair.
Not in their natural state. They show up as weird emanations of energy.
Will the wisps kind of thing. Okay.
I was going to say, I do have, I mean, it's kind of echoing my earlier character as well, but I had this idea that because of I Know What's Good for You, Oneros will get this idea to project a scary like image and be like, this is what happens when you disrespect the earth, you know, before Silver stops recording.
Do you want to do that?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. So that's
for a moment you see what does this image look like?
Oh, it's like a person, but then it turns into like a demon and then it starts melting.
Yeah.
They really just go all in. They're like, you know what? This is what works on the humans.
Yeah, intentional illusions will show up on the camera. So like people watching this TikTok are gonna think the effects budget is through the roof.
Which, you know, they realize that it'll probably just freak some people out, or some people will laugh at it or whatever. But they're like, they can see it being a fun bit, so they enjoyed it.
Yeah. So Tack, you've finished disabling all of the equipment. You see Sunset is finishing up some kind of mechanism to collect a sample from this barrel down in the pit. All of you are just kind of vaguely nauseated being next to all this stuff. Like it feels wretched to you. But yeah, Sunset, you managed to get your sample. The barrel is now oozing into the dirt.
Oh no.
Not a lot, because you sort of did it like up on the top of the barrel, so like only a little bit manages to sort of leak out after you collect your sample, but it is leaking, and if it shifts, it may leak more.
I know what I'd like to do.
What would you like to do?
All right, so I'm live streaming this, and I want to declare a story detail with careful Politico, which ties into my like declare stunt. I'm going to spend a fate point to declare a story detail, and that story detail is going to be that like when an emergency of this scale happens, they send in like C-suite a C-suite executive or a vice president to come and like oversee like whatever the disaster is, to make sure that like, you know, they've got a good control over the situation. And basically I'm creating the using the declare stunt. I can create a situation aspect. The situation aspect is going to be vice president on site, like vice president of something on site, basically so that I can like my intention is to then catch them in this live stream video. Wait, Emilio. That's exactly who it is. The
Mhm.
spokesperson. They
Yeah,
send
I was
somebody
gonna
in to
say
go
that.
in and like be the like fix the problem before it becomes a problem, and Emilio is going to show up. So it will be Emilio on site, and then because you said previously when I used the declare stun, it's not really an action.
Yeah.
It's spending a fate point, which let me spend my fate point. Whew, I'm glad I still have one. Um, I am going to what I want to do is I want to attempt to create. So here's what my actions are going to be. What the impact of those actions are, we can put up for discussion. But I want to get Emilio like on this live stream saying shit that he would never say in public. With the express purpose of like basically like uh, this is going to eventually shut the humans down, but not before there's a giant circus that will entertain the shit out of me. So that's what I want to do. I don't know how you want to
Well,
handle that.
let me tell you what happens with your declaration
Sure.
first. You all hear this like thwop, 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 sound from the sky as like a bright light starts illuminating the treetops from beyond this work site, and a helicopter flies into view over the trees. Whether or not you
Oh
understand what a
no.
helicopter is, but the players understand what a helicopter is. And it circles for a moment and then like finds a clear space near the work site to like set down in. And 5 figures get out in white plastic suits with like like the big beekeeper helmet, with a clear plastic face mask thing. And like they all have like those like Velcro name patches that you just slap onto these sorts of things. And one of them says Garcia, and like the rest just have other random names that aren't really important. But yeah, five figures get out. Four of them are carrying like satchel like cases, like, and they get out and they start opening up, and they have like equipment and stuff. And Emilio goes over and like starts walking around the outside of the perimeter, and like sees Dinesh like carrying this guy away from the work site, and like runs over to them and starts like gesticulating wildly, and like you can't really hear from where you are what he's saying to them because there's still a helicopter and you're far enough away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that I'm just going to have to get closer.
Okay.
So I am, of course, going to do this in the most flashiest way possible. I'm basically going to kind of like do all sorts of like, I don't know, Beastmaster style tuck and rolls, jumping off of things completely unnecessarily. It looks great, but it's actually dumb. As I strive to get close enough to get to pick up what they are saying, what Garcia is saying.
Yeah, and you're sort of like coming at them from the trees, from the tree line, and like Dinesh and the injured guy clearly see you, and like their eyes both just go like completely wide. But like you're coming up behind Emilio, and he's too busy like just shouting at the two of them at the top of his lungs through his helmet to notice you right away. But you're not being subtle.
No.
Like
I'm definitely.
the flash is on the phone.
Yeah. Do you want me to roll to so that we can gauge success, or do you want to
Yeah.
just say that? Okay. All right. The industry has no flash is the skill that I'm using, and I got a fair result.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable with a fair? Like that's
What was the
uh,
difficulty going to be?
for right now, it's still only a 2. So
Okay, so that would be that's success at a minor cost since I'm
yeah.
trying to overcome the like noise of the helicopter. Um, I am going to let's see. I can. There are plenty of free invokes out there.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've got the live stream disaster, which is what you're trying to do.
This is true. Yeah, I'll use the live stream disaster. Um, so this is, this is something that people are paying attention to. So maybe somebody is like lip reading and typing it into the comments or something um, to like assist with finding out what's going on with this. So that will take me to a 4.
Okay, so yeah, you get up behind Emilio close enough that you can hear. It's still muffled, and
Mhm.
like, but like you can make out that he's like, uh, who the hell are you, and what are you doing out here? My company is going to sue you for trespassing, interrupting a rescue operation. I don't even know what else. And Dinesh is just like, help me move him. And like he's looking at the like, oh God, what is in those barrels? Why are you wearing hazmat suits? I don't. What am I?
Poor
The
guy.
the injured guy is completely passed out. Dinesh is barely holding him up.
Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. Now, I just want to point out that now's a good time for a compel on live stream disaster.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as Garcia notices the camera like flash goes off because I hit the wrong
Uh-huh.
button.
Yep.
And now he wants to get the camera off of me or like stop me from spreading the word.
And
Could
also, you're a
be.
fairy.
Yes, yes. I mean, there's that too. So
Okay, yeah, go ahead and take that fate point.
yeah, I figured that will give Garcia something to do. Now, one quick question about fairies so that I understand. Like, the art on the cover of the book makes me think that like a fairy is like 3 apples tall.
So it's entirely variable.
Okay.
I did include character portraits in each of your bio tabs.
Yeah.
So like, and throughout the book, like some are very tall, some like the character portrait for Tack is probably like halfling sized, but like
Yeah.
the character portrait for Oneros is like 6'4" or something.
Okay. Then I'm
Yeah, that's
imagining
kind of
that.
what I was imagining.
Yeah,
Like
it
the
varies
gentry
very
look
wide.
like, just very
Yeah,
tall, like
like
kind of
the
like that
little
archfey look.
yeah, but the little glowy pixie versions are like, you could be that if you wanted to.
That's what I was imagining that Silver probably is because I imagine that he's got like the phone in two
Mm-hmm.
hands, like it's like
Yep.
basically like wielding a giant screen TV or a monitor
Mm-hmm.
throughout this. So,
Yep. Yeah, I
all
mean,
right,
Emilio does spin around and like see you, and like his whole body language like goes on like the back foot. Like he's clearly like freaking out at this whole situation. Like the stress is clearly getting to him, but he is going to try and grab the phone away from you. What is everyone else doing while this is going on?
I would like to hand Tack the sample that I
Okay.
got because I'm going to bend down to them and say, "My little human has gotten himself in a spot of trouble. I'm gonna go try to help and get that other one out of danger too." So I would like to be a sneaky gentry,
Mm-hmm.
and while Emilio is distracted by Silver, um, try to help um, lead Dinesh and the injured person away to somewhere where they will be able to sneak off, and we'll be able to assist them later getting
Yeah.
into a hospital.
So go ahead and give me a sneaky roll. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's great. In fact, you doop, 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 up behind them and like tap Dinesh on the shoulder, and he looks around and you just sort of you help get the other guy's arm, and like
Mhm.
the three of you slip off into the woods again, while Emilio is like catching his wits and like starting to move toward the camera. Tack, what are you doing?
Tack is going to like tuck the little vial of the sample like safely away somewhere, and is going to look around for a tool of some sort, like some kind of hand tool.
Mhm.
Pick it up and start walking towards Silver, to help like fend off this human that looks like he's maybe going to be attacking
Mhm.
Silver. So
And Oniros?
Right. So everybody's getting in fights and trying to escape with the sample. Neros.
Also remember there are like 5 other like hazmat suited folks with like setting up equipment and stuff.
So yeah, I think
And a
we should
helicopter.
probably deal with them. Yeah, we should probably deal with them. So right. Spokesperson's on site. So I would like to try and okay, so I want to somehow trick the 5 people into leaving or into being misdirected, because there's a lot of people here right now. And Emilio is currently being talked to. So let's see. I don't really know. I don't know what I want to do. What do I want to do? Crap.
We can come back to you if you want.
Yeah, you can come back to me.
Okay, so let's
Try
go
to
back
stick.
over to Silver and Tack, who's just come up with a wrench or something. Yeah, Emilio. Let's call this a contest. Emilio just wants to get the phone away from you. How's that sound? Okay.
that works.
So he is going to be perfectly honest, he doesn't have a good skill for this. So I'm just going to roll 4 dice and see what happens.
All right. I'm definitely going to resist. I am clever gentry, so I am, of course, going to cleverly keep it away from him as I kind of like fake out, misdirect, things of that nature. Wow.
Perfectly average roll.
Ooh.
All right.
So since this is a contest and you just succeeded with style, that's 2 victories for your side.
Very nice. All right.
And obviously your goal is to get compromising video of him. So
Yeah.
if you win, obviously he's going to curse something incriminating at you while you dodge and weave.
Sounds good.
Do you want to roll, or does Tack have an idea?
Oh, well, I mean, I think his or their I was gonna say Tack. Their what they're basically doing is kind of like trying to get in between and just be like scary, and just be like making loud guttural noises, because like you would do with a bear to try to scare a bear away.
He's got a wrench.
And I've got a wrench. Yes,
Yeah.
It's a red wrench.
No, it's a
yes,
hammer.
Exactly. Right,
It's a
right.
hammer.
It's a hammer. So I'm just basically trying to protect Silver by forcefully. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why you're a member of my commission.
Okay. So you could spend a fate point to win this, or a tie on a contest. Nobody gains ground, but there is a twist of some kind.
Ooh, let's go with a
course.
twist.
Okay. Um, let's see. Um, so Emilio is chasing the two of you sort of around, and you're like trying to scare him off. He doesn't like. I think your scary tactics are counteracted by the fact that you're not that big, and he's wearing a protective suit, so like those kind of counter each other out. Unfortunately, the three of you, as you're running around, sort of Keystone Cop style, you all three tumble into the hole.
Oh God.
Oh no.
So now the three of you are in the pit, like kind of like wrestling with each other.
Oh,
no.
man.
Randy, what do you do?
And there's that slime around here, right?
There's a little bit of it.
A little
If
bit,
the
little
barrel
bit.
gets jostled, though, it could get a lot worse.
Oh no, it could. So I think this works for this. I want to use Lover of Riddles to declare something.
Okay.
So what I want to declare is that when we fall down like significantly, and potentially some of the other, like what's his face gets down in with us, Emilio.
Dinesh? Oh, Amelia.
Yeah, and there's some type of not like ancient like maze or something, but it's somebody built, the containment area for the nuclear waste, and made it purposefully confusing to leave.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Like
so
we fall down into a containment
you all
area.
you all tumble down into this pit, and like the earth gives way into like a second layer of like a bunker underneath, like that they had only done, like they had put like some of these barrels just on top of the bunker, but they hadn't dug far enough down to like get to the actual like containment structure. And you all tumble down, and like you just sort of break through the last like inch or two of dirt into an open hatch, and like tumble down into a concrete or stone, at least stone seeming structure under the ground. And it's now currently only lit by the flash on the phone that's doing the live streaming.
Oh God. Oh goodness. Is everyone all right? And Oneros, I really like your idea, Randy. So Randy's idea in the chat was that this mystery maze puzzle situation is because the Fae hid the hid the waste, which I mean
It feeds
maybe.
into like the unknown, the fact that no one knew about it. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I really like it. I don't know how everyone else feels, but yeah, so Oneris is like feeling around, and he's like, and they're like feeling the symbols on like the stone wall, and they're like, this is Fae writing, and it like starts glowing, and it says just like warning, like the letters that they've traced over already. And Oneris just turns around and goes, oh my, where have we fallen into?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that declare ends the contest that we were in before, because like that's made this a whole different thing. So Randy, let's go to what's Silver doing now that like Emilio is just staring around him now, has no idea what's going on.
So first, I have an idea for a compel for Aneros. That like this area of confusion was actually an area, the like who wrote this, who did this, and like you look at it and it's your handwriting, and it turns out that you had done it. So like
that's great. But number one, I feel like maybe it was so long ago he's now forgotten.
well, the thing is
know.
like it could be that, it could be tied to the fact that the magic was about forgetting this place, and like now that you're in it, like it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
part
I
of
don't
the
know
reason why I
what
like this compel is that it complicates things, because It turns out that Nutmeg getting sick was not your fault, but it also
Directly.
was
But
your
it
fault.
was kind of your fault.
And so, like, what it and
Directly, yeah.
and just so that everyone's clear on my motivations as a player, it is not to be right. It is to
No.
make an interesting story. So
No, I
that's
like
a
that.
suggestion for Compel to
It's
consider.
exactly what would happen. Like
Mhm.
That's
it
how
would,
Fae are, yeah.
It would absolutely
Yeah.
work out in your favor. Like why
Well-
wouldn't it?
And
Well, here's
to-
here's the thing. That complicates Aniris's life, which means that, like, after we like take care of this real quick, because it is 10 after 10, it
yeah,
means that
to be
she-
perfectly honest,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that realization feels like a great ending. Like
It does, yeah.
it like you didn't really solve anything yet. Like you've definitely gotten a live stream of you've gotten clear shots of Emilio's face like as this is all happening. So like that's somewhat of a victory. But it feels like that mystery of what is this place now? Why do I not remember it? Like that feels like a good ending.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, let's go with that.
So okay, cool. Well,
All right.
we wrap with a question mark, I suppose.
Which, I mean, like, that happens.
Yeah.
Paul, thank you so much for taking us through this tonight.
Thank you all for playing. That was a lot of fun and interesting twists and turns.
Oh, yeah, it was
Exactly.
really fun.
Now, I want to wrap up this session like we usually do, which is with Wishes and Stars. Wishes and Stars is an exercise where we kind of like look back and think about the game, and we point out the stars of the game, like moments that we liked, highlights that we liked, things that we liked about our character or other characters or the story, or like even something about like, oh, the character sheets were really nice. And then we talk about like wishes, which are things that we wish maybe had gone differently, wish could have been better. Basically, they're the counterpoint to a star, but framed in a way that kind of like makes them constructive and something that we can take away that's positive. Instead of saying like Roll20 is a garbage fire, I can say that I'm glad that Paul had to manage Roll20. So. So that's Wishes and Stars. And usually the way that I do that is I just leave the floor open for people to call out their wishes and their stars.
I loved the 2-character format. It's really
Yes.
fun getting to play 2 different things, and it sounds really interesting for like a long campaign as well. Like basically being at the top of the company shit list
Yeah,
from session to session.
in the campaign play, what actually happens is each new session when you start the human phase, the game master decides what the industry's like attack back would be, and then you actually create a new issue aspect that is a newspaper headline. So
that's great.
Yeah, based on whatever their maneuver is.
Yeah.
I wanna call out in particular. I thought everyone was wonderful. That was a lot of fun. But I wanted to call out in particular like the way you worked together. Like I loved Amelia and Grayson sort of media tag teaming during the human phase, and I loved the back and forth in the fairy court between Mallory and Randy fighting for commissionership. Like
we seem to do that a lot as characters. So
we do
the way you all work together. That was stars for me.
No.
Same. I love it whenever characters have conflicting points of view and actually have conflict. But conflict that is interesting and engaging, but not like PvP conflict. Like the escalation of fate points on who's going to be the commissioner of the commission. Like, you know, it's total bullshit that no one really cares about. It has no mechanical weight.
But these characters do.
These characters care about this.
Yeah.
You know, and what it does is it establishes it establishes a relationship. It establishes things that are important. Like it's like, oh, we don't care about like necessarily stabbing people, but we do care about who is labeled commissioner because that is important. And so that's, yeah, I like that. One star that I really liked is I really liked the stunts, the invoke stunt, the compel stunt, and the declare stunt. Um,
That's really cool.
I think that those worked out in a very interesting fashion. I like them. And I'm going to absolutely steal them for other things that I do because I think that it's really good Fate tech.
Yeah, it was a
Agree.
good. It was a way to streamline character creation, not have people spend an hour trying to figure out how to squeeze the last +2 out of whatever, whatever stunt they took. So
Yeah, when I started playing Fate, one of the hardest things was coming up with stunts, so I feel like that's a great way to get new players to like understand like what you can do with Fate. So,
Mm-hmm.
Building off of that just a little bit, I want to say that these characters, these pre-generated characters that you've come up with, Paul, are excellent. Keep them in your back pocket for when you have to run this again.
mhm.
Definitely.
Yeah, the one thing that I left out is that on each of the characters, the folk and community aspects and the neighbor and court aspects, in a full campaign mode, each of those points to someone else's character. So like
Okay.
your human's folk points to somebody else's fairy, and your human community points to somebody else's human, and then the same thing with the fairy aspects.
Oh, that's
Okay.
really
Okay.
cool.
But
Yeah.
for a one shot, it was a little too much to ask, I think.
You know, I really liked your pre-made characters because there was enough there to where I feel like, yeah, like you should definitely reuse them because different people would use different aspects of this character, I feel like, or utilize them differently. Because I know there's some that I didn't really use a whole lot, but other people would maybe, you know, be more their style or whatever. So I think they're really good, both. Yeah. Yeah, no, it was really fun game. It was yeah, the two character aspect was like super fun, and it was a really fun game. The whole concept is really cool. Um yeah, thank you for having us.
I think everyone said pretty much the same things that I wanted to say. I like the two character, absolutely. I think that in the amount of time that we had, like it was hard to transition into the second character just because of the amount of time. But beyond that, like, and I think that's just like the constraint of the stream, right?
So you're
not
saying you wished you had more time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Segue.
Yeah.
I honestly wish that it had been a two shot. That's
Hmm.
my only like wish is that because I feel like that is what it's built for, or like in my mind anyway, of like, you play the human and then you come back later and it's like you've half forgotten what the humans did. It's like when you've like gotten drunk or whatever, you wake up and you're like, oh shit, I gotta clean my whole kitchen. Like it's that kind of thing of like, what have the humans done? We gotta fix this now. So
Yeah. Yeah, like
yeah.
as
My only
written, like
wish.
it's definitely you go back and forth between the two of them. The original concept is that you would do it in half of a single session, but
Oh, okay.
it's totally cool to do one session and then the next session. So.
Yeah. That's good.
I mean,
Good.
one thing that could feed into that is like at the end of the human half of the session, an aspect gets created based on what the humans did. And that provides the jumping off
Yeah.
point for the fairy phase. Because my brain,
Yeah.
as soon as you start dividing up a role playing game into phases, I immediately start thinking about Forged in the Dark. So, like Band of Blades, Blades of the
Well, you
Dark,
did.
etc.
I was gonna say you brought in a Blades in the Dark thing with the flashback, sort
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I designed this before. I mean, Blades in the Dark existed. Like, people that backed the Kickstarter had access to it and stuff, but I didn't, so I hadn't experienced it yet when I wrote this, because I wrote this a number of years ago. But I actually, in an early draft, there was something when you changed over to the fairy, you like made an aspect, like you said, but it worked better to just have the overarching aspect from the industry taking action at the beginning of a session rather than
Yeah.
doing it in the middle.
Yeah.
But I totally think it's cool to do it. Obviously, I thought it was cool in the early draft to do it in the middle, but yeah.
My only other wish is that I wish I wouldn't have caused as much trouble as I did. Like I can't stop GMing, and so like I like games that have like that are rich in complications and like trouble, and
I
so
was
like
joking, but not joking that my Faye character is just Randy when he plays games. Like that's like that character he played that I was referencing to is like the purest expression of that I've seen
oh my
yet.
god, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really appreciated all of you like fishing for compels and accepting compels so readily, because that's like my weakness as a Fate GM is like I don't push compels hard enough. So like you guys asking for them for
No,
me was great.
I've come to love the compel because you get more fate points out of it.
Yeah.
So
I love that about Fate, but also like like I don't know, I've just come to be more go from like, oh no, my precious child, I must protect them, to like, yes, go my dumpster child.
yeah.
Ruin your life.
I'm just terrible at remembering to like propose them
Oh.
to players. I'm just like, nope, let's just keep moving the plot along, and then it gets to the point where
It's
it's
hard.
like, oh, everyone's out of
It's-
fate points.
Yeah,
It's tough to
I know
balance
for me,
all
I
of those
feel
things.
mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I'm okay with being mean. I'm just like, hey, we could totally make it all your fault,
Yeah.
you
Oh
know.
my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, compels are one of those things that, like, once you understand that that good compels, like as a player, good compels against your character, like lean further into your character. You know, they enrichen your character. Like for instance, like a prime example in media of compels is like, you know, okay, so we're at Mos Eisley's, and it turns out like we totally got a fare for for a trip that's going to spend a bunch of money. Great, darn your luck, you're a smuggler, and Greedo shows up, and like you've got to get yourself out of this situation because it turns out Jabba's a little bit is actively after you. It's like suddenly you've got like a richer experience for your character because of that compel, as opposed to like, oh no, I'm going to like Greedo's going to shoot first. He didn't.
Controversial.
Dum dum dum.
Excellent.
Uh,
Well, last call for wishes or stars.
Was it your like very first time playing Grayson?
First time as a player, yes.
Yeah, wow. How do
What do
you
you
think it went?
I mean, I think the first half went well. The second half, as I kind of alluded to, it was a little harder to get into the character, just because I was also trying to like, okay, wait, I can't think about everything that I knew before we switched
Yeah.
characters, which that was a little difficult for me. I know that as a player, when I am playing like other games, I generally tend to be a little bit of a meta gamer, and I was trying really hard not to do that. So.
Oh, you should have
But I
leaned
think that,
into it.
just be psychic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got magic
that's,
powers. Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
fair.
Yeah, you are a fairy. You could be spying on people, so
right.
Fair enough.
And consider also from the perspective of so two perspectives on metagaming, because I've thought a lot about metagaming because I've been playing RPGs for 20 years. Whenever it comes to Fate, part of what you're doing as you're playing the game, you're doing so in a way that builds a narrative on top of the
Mhm.
game. And any narrative that we experience in media, like film, television, books, etc., has plot holes. And
True.
so, like, as long as you can't drive a truck through that plot hole, um, that's cool. Obviously the fidelity for that varies by group, but if as long as you can't drive a truck through the plot hole, usually it's like, oh, you wouldn't have known that, but it worked out all right and it was interesting and fun, so we keep moving.
yeah.
The second thing, my second perspective on metagaming is that it is so difficult as a player to try and separate what you know from what you don't know and pretend, that I think that the impetus is on the group to determine like when a line has been crossed. Like when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, trolls, like they regenerate unless it's fire. And the question in those circumstances are like, if you have trolls and you have a torch and you don't use it, is it fun? If you do use it, is it like, is it like increasing the fun. Like, what's increasing the fun? Using what you know or not using what you know?
Yeah.
And that varies by group and such. But whenever I worry about like, oh, do the players know these monsters because they have all of the monster manuals? I'm just like, you know what? If they start to be too efficient with monsters, I will start throwing curveballs on the monsters. You know, like it turns out trolls need acid to get burned, or or maybe like I don't know, other curveballs.
Yeah.
So just some general thoughts on metagaming.
Hmm.
Well, thank you all so much. That was
Thank
a
you.
lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
All right,
Yes,
let's go
thank
ahead
you.
and shut down this stream. Thank you everyone for watching.
Bye.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Bye. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for algae rhythm.
Yeah. Oh God.
Oh.
All right.